point? That'd be really cool. If you have not checked out Jets Afterburners, you really should. You should check out their channel, Dan and Liam. Head on over there, subscribe to their channel, give them a thumbs up. Let's like all their videos, just like you should like this video right now. If you have not subscribed to Jets Worldwide and you just popped on, you just found us for some reason, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Johnny, I am all about goals now. So on average, for the people in the chat, we have had about 20 to 30 likes for every video that we've had. Let's up it a little bit. Let's go to like 40 to 50 likes. So if you're watching this now, hit the like. If you're watching this after the fact, hit the like. Okay. And subscribe to the channel. And what?
And if you don't like it, just hit the like.
Just hit the like anyway.
No matter what, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're about. But let's go ahead and say hi to everybody in the chat. Right. Yeah. Let's go ahead and say what's going on to John B. Welcome. Appreciate you coming on. The legend himself, Rick, Mr. Met Kent is in the building.
I call it Mr. Game Show.
The man, the myth, the legend. He has probably the best hair in all of Jets content world out there. You got Georgie. Georgie, what's going on? He might have been talking a little bit trash, saying that is this the Jake Asman stream? Because we're a little bit late, but it's okay. It's all right. And we got Mr. Armand in the building. This guy knows his stuff, I tell you that much. And your guys' favorite guy right here, Mr. Infrared _ Jets, E Boogie, is in the building.
Not only hit the like, but he's telling you to pound it.
You
know anything about pounding, Johnny?
I love pound cake. Let's just say that. Hello, Leanie. Leanie's in the building. Jersey Jet, welcome. Mr. Jet Skis. That's a cool name, actually. I like that a lot, actually.
I wonder if he's Polish. You think Mr. Jet Skis is Polish? Oh, no, it's 2 E's. It would have been an I if it was Polish.
We got Knob in the building.
What's up, Knob?
And one guy that I always say, he is the person to be able to fix the Jets organization. Do you know who that is, Snowball?
Afram?
It is definitely Afram.
Afram doesn't know, but I am a secret Afram fan. I watch, I never comment, I never say anything. I'm a lurker in the background, but Afram, you're one of my favorites. Like he's an old head. He's an OG. And I appreciate his takes on the Jets.
And Snowball, a little bit later on tonight, we'll actually put up the link, bring some of the regulars to come on and be able to speak in that. Yes. And look who has entered the building.
Phil is here.
The best voice in all of Jets content.
Oh my God. He sings his voice. Oh my God. He's awesome.
It really, really is. And look who else just came in. I think we know these guys. These guys are awesome, by the way.
Should we bring him in? Can I bring him in? Can I bring him in now?
I mean, both of them look like they're in darkness retreats over there.
All right, listen. Liam, Dan, are you ready? They're ready. 2 thumbs up.
If so, make sure you give us the bat signal.
Yeah. What was your bat signal before? I think it was right. Exactly. All right. Here they come. Who's first? Who do we bring in first?
All right.
We're just bringing them both in.
There we go.
Liam and Dan, welcome to Jets World
Wide.
Liam,
Dan, welcome. Please let everybody know how awesome the Afterburners is and what do you guys do over there?
I mean, it's all right.
It's all right. It's okay.
Boy, he's so like humble.
You know, we're free on Thursday nights. We have nothing else to do, and we just decided to make a channel.
We hit the base. You know, we go into the basement and don't come out.
Right. Yes. The ball and chain here. You know. No internet.
Are you guys in a basement?
I am not.
You're in a basement.
Mm-hmm.
And Liam, you're not in a basement?
No, this is my bedroom.
Oh, okay. I'm in a basement.
I'm in a holding cell.
Oh, all right. Good for you.
Yeah, I'm in a darkness retreat. You know, they put a mask on my head and just dropped me off in here. And put a microphone and said, "All right, we'll feed you a little bit of information about the Jets. You're gonna have to watch the 2020 season on repeat, and that's gonna be the rest of your life."
Isn't that fun?
We all have a penance to serve.
Mhm.
So yes, I agree. Being Jets fans, definitely that's the way life is.
Mhm.
But this year
Yes.
is different, right? Isn't this year
Yes.
different?
Every
Yes.
year's
Yes.
different.
Right?
This year's different. Plus,
Every year
it's
we're
a
gonna-
flashback.
we're gonna make it. This year is
7.
the year that the Jets will be successful.
Too good to fail.
I think so. With Aaron Glenn, Darren Muji, like we're built for this stuff.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
we
Built for
have
the shit.
number 7 back. We got number 7.
Oh, all
See
right.
him?
So let's take that as a starting jump off point.
Right.
Okay. Dan
Yes.
brought it up.
Mhm.
Let's bring it up. Justin Fields takes number 7 as his number for the New York Jets. Thoughts, opinions? 7?
Excited.
It's a little risky. I like it. It's a lot of heritage with that number, a lot of history, and you think back to what Dan was just showing with Boomer. You got Geno Smith, a couple other guys. We'll see. We will see. Cal
Yeah.
O'Brien.
Kenny O, Tom Tupa. Tom
Tom Tupa.
7. And just recently, our latest number 7,
Yes.
Mhm.
that guy. Oh,
Good.
oh,
Oh man.
Fail
Let me tell
Mary.
well, yeah, Tim Boyle, but our latest number 7, right? Who is our latest number 7?
Oh, Reddick.
Mr. Yeah, Hassan
Hassan
Reddick.
Reddick.
Yeah.
So there is good and there is bad. Oh, I have to put both hands in here. Good and bad with the number 7, but he
Mhm.
is in good company with quarterbacks
Right.
who have been number 7.
That's right.
Did you see the video on the Jets webpage how he chose number 7?
Yes, I think it was a little overkill to me.
Yeah.
A little.
think so,
It's the Jets way, right? To hype things up and look at this and the 16 and just that's Woody Johnson Productions, and that's where I just hope that Woody can say, "All right, you know what? The tickets are going to sell themselves, man. Like enough of this. Enough of this hype of throwing little screen passes or slow motion training camp nonsense. Let the team gel. It's time. I'm pumped for Justin Fields. Could it be I'm wearing green color glasses? Probably, but I've seen him in Ohio State. I was rooting for the Jets to draft the guy instead of Zach Wilson, move back, get a plethora of picks. But this is my thought, and Liam knows this very well. Aaron Glenn, if you look through his tenure, he's never been in a situation of grooming a quarterback. Ever. With the Jets, Vinny Testaverde, a retread, a guy that was from the Buccaneers, the Browns, the Ravens. He was an afterthought. We're all wearing number 16 because of him. Then he goes to the Saints, Drew Brees, the Chargers. They drafted Phillip Rivers to take over him. They saw him as a complete bust, but then he broke out and he busted his shoulder, came in the Saints. Fast forward not too long ago, Jared Goff, number 1 overall draft pick, takes the Rams to the Super Bowl. A year later, signs this new extension. A year after that, gets traded. This is what Aaron Glenn has been used to. Quarterbacks that have enormous chips on their shoulders. I am psyched that Justin Fields is going to be just like one of those aforementioned quarterbacks to revitalize their careers. Just saying.
I have
Green-colored
to
glasses.
say, I have to say that I was actually having this conversation a little bit earlier today with shout out to Nick Shine, and we were kind of talking in regards about Kenny O. I was watching a different show. It's one of the shows that they're like in the Midwest, but he's a Jet fan or whatever. And they had one of the older Jet fans call in and kind of give their take in regards to, Justin Fields, and then with the whole number 7 and Kenny O rocking that, right? And he was bad mouthing Ken O'Brien. And I was like, that was my father's favorite quarterback.
Yep.
Like that was my dad's guy. My dad always told me, he was like, that guy had an arm. Like the way he would throw that ball, that you would be like, wow, I can't believe that.
Yep.
Right. So, in regards to that, seeing number 7 being played out, right? Now, I think with Kenny O, a lot of his stuff with a lot of concussions and things, I think that's what kind of like, back then you had a concussion, you was finishing the game no matter what. Like you had to be carried out on a stretcher and everything. But seeing him take that number for me, right? At least for myself, and maybe this is me being sentimental and whatnot, but it kind of gave me that history with my father. And I'm like, okay, now I get to see a quarterback rocking the number 7 as well. And I'm hoping that he does this justice, and to Rick Kent's point right here, he's always put in that bubble with Dan Marino and all that, right? But let's be honest, if Marino was to been put in to the crappy line that he had, which was Keno, right? We probably wouldn't be talking about that.
Right.
I know the head-to-head games, from what I was told, Ken O'Brien won them, right? So, I mean, again, I'm too young to remember any of that. I just remember the stories that my dad would tell me in regards about it as well. So, I'm hyped, man. I'm excited for Justin Fields. People, I mean, you guys remember when I was on your guys' show, and I said I was all about Justin Fields because I was like, it makes sense. It'll make Garrett Wilson super happy to retain him as well. All of those noises that were being brought into the quote unquote media, right? And saying that, he wants to get out of here and all that, they stopped. So Justin Fields, we got him in. He's here. Dan, I know you've been super, super vocal in regards to Fields. Liam, I haven't really heard too much in regards about it, and Mr. Snowball as well. So let's go around the actual horn itself. Dan, start it off. Justin Fields, thoughts?
I like what he brings. He brings something that we have not seen at the quarterback position in the history of the New York Jets. You might see glimpses of it with Zach Wilson, just a little bit. Maybe Mike Vick in those 4 games that he played for us. Sure. But he's a dynamic player. He has a gun of an arm. I don't understand how people say, he has like an average arm. The guy can make any throw. One of the big things that I like about him is that he's coming from Chicago. He played 3 years there? Okay. So he got a lot of cobwebs out. Then the best part that no one is talking about, and many people might look at this as a negative, I don't. When you have someone like Mike Tomlin, who is a staple with the Pittsburgh Steelers, to bench a quarterback, a young quarterback that is, at 4-2, what does that say about what a legit head coach is all about? Yes, it's about winning. I get it. But a coach like that wants to develop not only the player, but a young person. I think what he was trying to do to Justin Fields is to tell him, hey, look, you're having success. You have to work at this, and you have to be at a high level. Nothing's going to be given to you. So when you have your next opportunity, you better seize it. Because if you do, then you'll become the franchise quarterback of whatever organization will pick up the tab, including the Steelers, in which I think the Steelers wanted to bring him back, but I think they're probably going to go in a different direction, probably with like Aaron Rodgers and whatnot. I think even Justin Fields saw the writing on the wall, but I think it speaks volumes of where Justin Fields is in his career to take that next step. And not for nothing, just like Baker Mayfield, right? Same thing. He got traded. He got cut. He played for the Rams. Now, all of a sudden, who on this panel would say no to Baker Mayfield to be the franchise quarterback of the New York Jets? Nobody. Everybody would raise their hands. You could be quarterback of our team. I think something similar is in the works if everything falls into place with Justin Fields.
Liam, thoughts on Fields?
Yeah, I think Dan hit the nail right on the head. And the really interesting thing with this too is we've seen some like semi-mobile quarterbacks. You know, like Zach could run a little bit, Sam could run a little bit, but like we never had that mobile quarterback, and that's really where the league is going. Patrick Mahomes takes off, Lamar Jackson, Jaden Daniels, C.J. Stroud. It's where football is going. It's a modern offense now, and how lucky is Justin Fields? He was able to go to the lineage of the Steelers. What are they known for? Stability. Every year, you know, Mike Tomlin's there. Some people don't agree with him. You know, some people wanted him canned, but they're a solid, fundamental football team every single year. He was able to sit behind a future Hall of Fame quarterback in Russell Wilson. Maybe Hall of Fame at this point. I think he should be personally, but Russell Wilson, you know, he's a very good veteran quarterback. He's been around the league, worked with some of the other great head coaches in the NFL history. So he learned. And he's been thrown through the ringer throughout the NFL. You know, with the Chicago Bears, that was a dumpster fire. And then, like Dan had just said, starting getting benched and starting it, like he had to work for it. He's earned it. So we're getting, you know what we're getting in Justin Fields? We're getting a quarterback with a chip on his shoulder. And we're not talking about an old man quarterback like Aaron Rodgers coming in that's, you know, banged up talking about, oh, I have a chip on my shoulder. And I'm really excited for Garrett Wilson. This is a guy that's worked with Garrett Wilson all throughout college. He made Garrett Wilson, essentially. He made Garrett Wilson look so good that he got drafted as a top 10 quarterback. Mm-hmm. And Garrett Wilson should be the superstar wide receiver for the New York Jets. Once Davante Adams came in last year, I was hyped about it. And who wouldn't be? Just take the names. You got Aaron Rodgers, not to keep talking about the past, by the way, but you got Aaron Rodgers, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. To his left, you got Davante Adams. To his right, you got Garrett Wilson. Behind him, you got Breece Hall. What can go wrong? Well, everything went wrong. And Garrett Wilson was a cast aside, essentially. How many times you think back to like that Rams game, you think back to the Jaguars game, just to name a few. That's just what comes off the top of the head. Garrett Wilson was almost non-existent. The ball was forced to Davante Adams multiple times when Garrett Wilson was wide open. We know that Garrett can ball. We've seen Garrett, another player, you know, through the ringer with the New York Jets. You think Streveler, Mike White, Zach Wilson, Joe Flacco, Tim Boyle, Aaron Rodgers, just to name a few. I might have missed a couple. How many quarterbacks had Garrett Wilson had to overcome? The guy's a dude. He's a baller. And
100%.
Nobody knows him better than Justin Fields, you know? So
100%. I mean, there's film out there that shows Aaron Rodgers look away from Garrett Wilson wide open.
Crazy.
Where it's a touchdown. He gives it to them. It's a touchdown. It's there, but he's force feeding it over to Davante Adams, or he's checking it down. Right. So like it was insane to me in regards to what was going on with them. And now he's gone. Like, you know, and he's still being talked about. And this is Aaron Rodgers. It's done, man. Like
he's just a lightning rod, you know. You're gonna be talking about him.
Snowball, Justin Fields, thoughts?
I think my all right. So Dan hit on it a little bit with the draft, right? Like we took Zach Wilson, right? But it was puzzling to me that I watched that national championship game, right, with Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence, right? And all I remember is Justin Fields getting demolished. Like he was getting driven into the ground. And I was like, this guy's out. Like, that's it. Like they're going to cart him off the field. Mm-hmm. And he was like the Terminator. He just like kept getting up and he's like, okay, back into the huddle. And I was like, this guy's like an Iron Man. Like he is a guy. Right. So for me, his durability was like unmatched. And then when we drafted Zach Wilson, I was like, what? All right. I get it. You know, I understand, I guess. But for me, the durability of Justin Fields is good. His mobility, like Liam said, is a big plus for our team. I think, like we said, modern offense, right? The only thing that worries me is with this new, like, mold of a quarterback being so mobile, right? You have to have the durable quarterback, because once you set yourself beyond the line of scrimmage, right, become a target. So I've seen Justin Fields lower his shoulder, and take tackles, and then I've seen him slide a little bit. So I don't know. The issues with him, what people are saying is A, that he doesn't have an arm, right, and B, that he's Mr. Check Down and so on and so forth. But he adds another dimension. For me, he adds another dimension to the team. So hopefully we hit like with a Sam Darnold or a Geno Smith, with Justin Fields, the retread, the good, the bad, the ugly of what he is. Hopefully he blossoms with the Jets. I can only hope for the best. We can be optimistic. I believe that he was the best choice of all the bad choices. He was the best choice. So we got him. He's number 7. He's got to live up to the rep of the number. And hopefully, I pray, I cross my fingers, and we'll see what happens, man. Hopefully the coaching is good enough to make something of him.
And to piggyback off of that real quick too, this is probably the best that the offensive line has been in years. I mean, yes, we're missing a right tackle. I'm seeing some reports. I think it was on Boy Green that they could be bringing AVT back to right tackle, and Tippmann will be going to guard. That remains to be seen. That might be something in the draft. I'm not a fan of that, Johnny. I see you're shaking your head too.
I am.
Yeah, he's shaking his head.
Yeah, I personally don't want that either. Being honest. But we have a mobile quarterback that could run now behind a solid offensive line where guys are going to be able to pick up blocks. Like, he's not going to be, yes, he can run, but he doesn't have to run for his life. How many times have we seen Zach, drop back and then there's a linebacker or an edge rusher right in his face, So we have a mobile quarterback that can actually sit in the pocket if he wants to, which I think is a big plus.
See, but then like kind of in regards to a lot of people talk about his arm, stuff like that, right? Where his arms, he doesn't have a big arm. But I remember seeing him in Ohio and he's throwing bombs on stride, right? He had wide receivers that they could stretch the field and he would get him the ball. And he would stay in the pocket in Ohio. Yes. Could he run and things like that? Yes, he could as well. Now I know that's college, et cetera, et cetera. It's a different game and all that. But who did he have when he was with Chicago? Who did he have when he went to Pittsburgh? I mean, right. Russell Wilson used Mike Williams one play and Mike Williams was gone for the rest of the year after that one touchdown after they beat us, the Jets, that is, right? And I always go back to this game. I'll never forget the game. It was October 24th, 2022, right? The Bears were going against the Patriots, and this is a Bill Belichick Patriots. And the whole thing was, right, Bill Belichick, he eats up young quarterbacks. He's going to, destroy them. Probably one of the best games Fields ever had. That's right. Destroyed him in that game. Everything that he kept trying to do, all the blitzing that was occurring in that game, right? The different schemes that they were putting on. Justin Fields is a dog. He has it in him. And he just hasn't been given the real opportunity with good players around him. And he's getting that with us. Yes. Do we have holes around right now within the Jets? Yeah. I mean, we do. And all that, but they're in holes that can be fixed, and they're doing it. Yes, maybe some mid players that they're bringing in and all that. They're trying to change everything like that quick, man. And don't be surprised if we see us winning, and we get there. I mean, I think, at least in my opinion, I feel like we could win. Maybe not playoffs, right? Going into the playoffs, maybe not Super Bowl, but I think we can win more than 5 games. So
should be able to.
I think we will, man. Not for nothing. Just looking at how this new front office is taking hold of free agency. How many times did we see Joe Douglas try to get a player and then last minute it would be swept away by someone else? The main goal was to sign Justin Fields. That's exactly what Mooj did. I'm just loving all these acquisitions. One of the big ones is Josh Myers, the center.
Yep.
Again, it's a continuity that Justin Fields had at Ohio State. Now, I get it. I understand why a lot of people don't want to move Tippmann. But in my opinion, he is way too tall for a center. If you kick him out either to the right or the left guard, you have your next Steve Hutchinson, someone who is a caliber mauler And if you have Meyer right there in the center, you kick AVT to the right tackle, you have a solidified offensive line. And I love the depth that we're providing on this offensive line. We got Okafor, who,
Pittsburgh,
again, yeah,
Patriots.
I don't know what the Pats did last year with him. Maybe it was just an off year, but he was pretty solid at right tackle. So I like that the Jets are going young, and not only with the front office, especially what Glenn is doing. He jettisoned everyone out of there. I get it. A lot of people like Aaron Rodgers, Devontae, out. You're out. We're trying to build something here. Off-season OTAs, non-mandatory. They weren't going to show up, guys. They weren't. They were not. Justin Fields will be in all these signings that we're getting.
So Snowball, right?
Yeah.
Let's bring them up because I want to save those players, and we're gonna touch about the moving of Tittman on over with the Myers signing of it in a moment. We'll talk about that, but the next person that we got, we retain our own, right? And you guys know who I'm talking about, Sherwood.
Yep, love it.
Did you guys see the interview that he had with EA today?
I didn't personally know.
All right. It's a must watch, right?
Okay.
Seeing him and what he talked about CJ and Quincy in regards that brought him in with open arms and all that, dude, it hits the heartstrings on that one because you feel for CJ where, man, I wish we could have won something for him.
Right.
Like, he's one of those guys that something could have hurt, but we kept him. I mean, the guy is excelling, and the upside on him. And you guys are gonna hear me. I'm gonna keep saying upside constantly. But it was time for CJ to go. I said it. I thought they were doing the whole swan song for him with the whole one just drive, showing all that stuff a long time ago. I was like, is this it? Like, is this still going? And it happened. So Sherwood is not here with us. Mr. Snowball, thoughts on that?
Sherwood, at the end of his rookie season, I believe they did an interview with CJ Mosley, and they asked CJ Mosley about Jamian Sherwood's performance while he was a rookie. And I remember CJ looking directly into the camera and said, this guy can run the defense. After his rookie season, he's like, he's got the verbiage, he's got the knowledge, he knows everything. This guy has studied the playbook backwards, forwards, upside down, left to right, and he can run the defense. But because CJ was there, really didn't have the opportunity to do that. When CJ Mosley got injured the first time and Sherwood came in, I believe it was towards the end of the season. I forget what year it was, but he came in and had a solid performance. He held strong at the position of linebacker. So I had some confidence in him. But, now at this point with the money and CJ Mosley with a neck injury, I completely understand letting him go at this point. And I am all for Jamian Sherwood. He flashed last year tremendously. The guy's a rocket. He's a missile. He knows exactly what to do. He got the endorsement from our captain, right? Before he left. I am on Jamian Sherwood Island. I love him. He's a great player.
Liam?
Absolutely. Yeah, it sends a really good message. How can you not root for somebody like Jamian Sherwood? What was he, a 5th round pick, I believe he was? Could be wrong. I think he was a 5th. Not sure.
I'm pretty
But
sure he was. I thought he was 3rd rounder.
Whatever it was, I mean, that Saleh wanted him, and there was a lot of rumors that he was going to San Francisco, and that just it speaks volumes. That Dan, I remember, a couple years ago, you and Joe did the whole Jets good segment.
Yep.
Jamian Sherwood is NFL good. There was teams looking at Jamian Sherwood, and he got the bag. And what's really exciting about that too is how many times have we heard, especially like the first maybe 2, maybe even 3 years that Joe Douglas is there, that X amount, whatever player it was,
5th round.
5th round, yeah.
Just to confirm.
He wasn't a Joe Douglas guy. He's not a Joe Douglas guy. Well, Jamian Sherwood is not a Muji guy. He's not an Aaron Glenn guy. They didn't handpick this guy. but they're showing that whether you're one of our guys or not, if you're a good football player, we're going to retain you. He's young, he's grown, he has that CJ Mosley in him, so he's learned from like one of the best linebackers in the NFL. And I'm really excited for him and Quincy this year. I think it's gonna be really fun, and it's so cool to see that, you know, like these young kids have now become the leaders of the team. Jamien Sherwood now has a voice. He's gonna be showing that leadership skill that I think he's had all along. But you know what? He had the respect for CJ Mosley. You're the older guy. You're the veteran. You're the Pro Bowler. Lead us. And CJ Mosley, hats off to him. He did his part. You know, when he first came in, we all remember that Buffalo game with the interception and the pick six. Like we all knew that we had a stud on our hands. And then obviously, you know, he opts out with COVID and the injuries kind of caught up to him. But I feel like all of us, I mean, not to speak for all of us, but we all have the utmost respect for CJ Mosley. When we see somebody wearing 57, you know, it's either Bart Scott or it's CJ Mosley. Either way, we're nodding our heads, you know. So I couldn't be more happy for Jamien.
And we got some breaking news.
Oh.
And it looks like Mr. Green Bean is probably punching the air right now, breaking a computer.
Uh-oh.
They let him go?
Oh,
Kenny
no.
Yeboah went to the Lions.
Well, we're not going to be using tight ends.
Yeah.
How many tight ends do we have? Well, we only got one, Ruckert.
Yeah, we got Ruckert, the Long
Right.
Island boy.
Right, because he played for the Ohio State Buckeyes. That's why he's being retained.
That's
No,
it.
we got the smartest guy for tight end, right?
Kenny Yeboah is really good when quarterbacks throw balls at his feet too, by the way.
Yeah,
Oh, yes.
That's where he excels.
Yep.
So Dan, so Sherwood, your thoughts? I mean, you've seen a lot of great linebacking play, right,
Yep.
in your time and whatnot. So thoughts?
I love it, you know, because he's up and coming. He has potential, but he'll also showcase potential. He's fast. He's cerebral. And the beauty of this whole thing is that he was under the wings of a Pro Bowler, a stud, an all-pro in CJ Mosley. Like, for him to take the reins and for just piggybacking off of what Liam said, for this new group of people to come in, very easily they could have said, if he was that good, he would have made more of a difference or this and that. You know, we're just going to let him go. He's young. We don't really know much about him, but that was their priority number one, to re-sign Sherwood. And that's exactly what Mooj did. Right. I like what he brings. He's the leader now. You might think, all right, you know, it might be Quinnen. Quinnen is not vocal. He's not. The main guy of that defense right here and now, the guy that's going to fire up that defense, and I'm sorry to say it's not Sauce, it's Sherwood. That's the leader of the New York Jets defense. And we should be hyped because he brings a lot to it. He can cover. He can go after the quarterback. He can also zone a quarterback as well. Just spy on him. He can go back. Remember, he was drafted in the 5th as a cornerback, correct? He was a cornerback.
Safety. Yeah.
Oh, even better. Even better. So when you have these wild tight ends out there, like the guy that they have in Brock Bowers, I want to see our guy, Sherwood, on Brock Bowers. He ain't catching shit. Sorry for my language.
No, you're good. Hey, we're good over here, man.
Oh, okay,
you're good. You're good.
We're the only family show.
Yes.
I think we have two voices. I think Quincy is the other voice. I think both of them, they are a tandem team.
Yep.
Quincy might like be the sideline hype guy, and Sherwood will be like on the field hype guy. So yeah, I love the combination of those two. It's an electric linebacking core that we haven't had in a while. So we need it.
Now, to throw something random out there, I had mentioned this. I don't know if you guys had heard it. There's no substance behind this besides it's my own imagination. It probably won't happen, but after losing CJ, you know, we are a little thin at linebacker. And just to get your guys' opinion, why not bring in an ex-Jet fan favorite, somebody that a lot of people don't know was actually on the practice squad for the Lions, and Aaron Glenn Guy. Do you know where I'm going with this snowball? Quan. Why not? How much could he possibly cost? $1 million? He doesn't have to start, but you know, he's good veteran quality depth that Jets fans loved him. We didn't know
Mhm.
what we were getting with him. And what was it, 2022? I think he was here. 21, 22, 21. I don't know. Whenever he was here, I remember I wasn't super excited about him like when they first brought him in, and he excelled. Not saying he has to see every rep, but just I figured since we're touching on the linebacker position, he has experience with Aaron Glenn. He's a Jet fan favorite. Why not? What do you guys think?
I would have to probably say this, and I just saw it in the chat where Rick kind of said, "Does he have anything left in the tank?" Right? Because we do got some depth pieces there too that we don't really talk about. Right? We have Xavier Barnes that's still back there. What are we gonna do with a Chassarat? Right? Is there potential there to be able to do something with that? I don't know. I mean, now brings another one, but then I say the same thing in regards to Judon, right? Judon is that and this is something that I was talking about. Sherwood converted from a safety into a linebacker, right? As well. Another player that was potentially out there is Stiggers. I've been
Yeah.
seeing some stuff out there and everything in regards to that as a potential person to be able to move on over and maybe be a depth piece as well. And he'll probably get more play at that. Is he CB2? We have no idea yet. We really don't know. Brandon Stevens, some guy that they just brought on over, not known too much about him like that as well,
Right.
from the Ravens and everything. But is there a possibility? I don't know. I don't, but it's stuff that people are throwing out there because of Aaron Glenn and the way he teaches. But not only Aaron Glenn, but Wilkes and
Right.
his style of play as well, which I'm pretty hyped in regards to that. Let's move on to the next guy over here that we have. And so we got Sherwood, right?
Yep.
Then after that, it started being a whole bunch of other names that you were like, who is this? What is going on and all that? But unless you watch the AFC, this guy hits hard, right? He's a ball hawking cat and everything. He grew up being a Jet,
Yes.
wanted to come back home itself.
Sure.
And I'm actually really excited about him.
Mm-hmm.
Safety Andre Cisco.
Yep.
Thoughts in regards about him, Dan?
Oh my God. Who can forget the classic "The Thong Song" from Cisco? So I mean, why not? That just takes the cake. I like that this organization has seen the deficiencies that we've had going into free agency, and they're checking it off, whether it's depth players or starters. Cisco fits a hole that we need. We don't have safeties. I love that we tendered Tony Adams. So that's what it seems like what the tandem is going to be, right? It's going to be Cisco and Adams. I'm cool with that. And that's what we need. We need someone to play that field from side to side, either to take over where Sauce is or where Stevenson is in case they go by them. I think Cisco is a ball hawk. He hits, bro, but he doesn't get flagged. Like, again, maybe this is the Jets fan in us, and we all fall into the same trap. We sign a player, automatically YouTube, right? We go there, we try to see, and what I'm seeing is the hits that he's laying on people. It's legit. There's no flags, and these guys are out for the count. And a little bit of that Ronnie Lott kind of hits he does, and I love that. Because that's what the Jets need, that nastiness in the secondary. Finesse with Sauce, but that rock hard kind of pound you right into submission if you come across the middle. And Cisco's that guy.
Yeah, he is. I mean, I'm excited for him. I'm hyped, man. Snowball?
I'm just crossing my fingers for this guy. Honestly, I'm crossing my fingers. He's got the Long Island ties. So, South Huntington, St. Anthony's, it's like 15 minutes away from my house. He was there for 2 years, high school. Then he went on to like IMG Academy in Florida. Then he's went on to college. He played pretty well in the pros. So I'm hoping that again, what we lacked last year was coaching. So hopefully with this coaching staff in place, we can bring out the best in all these people that we're bringing in. How much do we sign him for? What was Cisco's contract?
I'm going to pull it up right here for
Yeah,
you.
what was his
Yeah,
contract?
A bucket.
And Cisco, like Dan
10,
said,
10 mil 1 year, I believe, something like that, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
the
1 year.
thong song, and
Yep.
yeah, and the dragon microphone. So so he's going to play opposite, right? He's going to play opposite Sauce. So right.
No, he's
Is he?
playing safety.
Oh no, he's
Safety.
safety.
Yeah,
He's
he's
safety. So-
safety.
right. I'm thinking of the other guy. But listen, again, fingers crossed that we get it. We didn't have any safeties last year that were
Mhm.
really. Chuck Clark was. I know Johnny's like a big Chuck Clark
Yes.
fan, right? We had high hopes for Chuck Clark, but injury bug just got him. So,
yeah.
again, like you said, this is a defensive-minded coach who's just trying to fill the holes that he saw that we had, and I see a lot of depth pieces coming in, a lot of starting pieces coming in. So the unfamiliarity that we have with Aaron Glenn as a coach,
Mhm.
being that he is, this is new territory for us. So
Right.
I'm hoping that we've had success with coaches in their first year before, and I'll save the comment that I was about to say for the end of the show. But Andre Cisco, fingers crossed.
Can I
That's
ask? Can I ask a question? Would you guys be opposed to bringing in Marcus Williams?
So thank you, Dan, because I was going to bring that up after I got Liam's thought on Mr. Cisco. Are you rocking with the Crisco?
Yeah. Yes, I am.
Love it.
As a matter of fact, I am. He's already a fan favorite because he's from Long Island, so him and Jeremy Rucker probably hung out. I know they're not from the same area. One's north, one's south. I get it. Long Island kid too. But how many people really knew Cisco? I really didn't. I mean, I have seen him play because I have a friend that's a Jaguars fan. So, but I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that I'm an Andre Cisco expert and this. I did pull up his stats a little bit. Nothing that really jumps off the wall. The interceptions are the big thing. 2022 he had 3. In 2023 he had 4. Last year he had 1. So we're seeing a lot of these under the radar kind of players that maybe they just need some good coaching, some good quality coaching to up their game a little bit. And we have that, especially with the defense. We have Steve Wilkes, we have, Aaron Glenn, who I think is going to be very involved, unlike Saleh. Let's just see, it's going to be one of those wait and see things. We got to hope it works. I'm sorry if, it's not a great answer, but what do we really know about the guy? Like Dan, like you had said, he hits hard. It seems like Saleh and Ulbrich, they just didn't care for safeties. We had Tony Adams, Jordan Whitehead, Lamarcus Joyner. Nobody was really great at the safety position. I'm not expecting Cisco to become an all-pro player. If he does, awesome. But I think he's going to be solid. So like I said, I don't know a ton about him. He has a handful of interceptions throughout his career. He hits hard.
Yep.
That seems like the kind of guy that Aaron Glenn wants. Just one of those hard-nosed, old-school kind of players. Not afraid to get dirty.
With what Glenn had to deal with last year with the Lions,
Yeah,
and the deficiencies that they had with the defense and what he was able to do, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
right. How could you not?
Exactly.
Yeah. Right.
He had the backup to the backup to the backup.
Right.
Right. And then people were like, but look what happened to him in the playoffs and all that. Again, he was having a guy that literally was at Walmart stocking shelves, which is nothing wrong with that and anything, but gave him an opportunity to be a pro athlete in a playoff game. Okay. Just put that into consideration of everything that's going on. Now, Dan said Williams, right?
Yep.
I've been talking in regards about that, putting that up because of the tie that he has with Glenn when he was coaching over there with the Saints. They had a monster of a squad. Marcus Lattimore, Williams. We could keep going and talking in regards about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
He had an off year last year. He got released. I don't think it would cost us that much, right? So a potential another 1 year deal thing, maybe to implement the way that actually Glenn and Wilkes, they like their defense to be played. Because remember, Glenn said that him and Wilkes speak the same language.
Right.
So that was something that was huge to me. I would love it because Williams brings that attitude that I really believe that you need. You know, he is not scared to go ahead and go up to a defender and pop him in his chin and say, "Get up." You know, so like I would love it. I've always liked Marcus Williams. I've always thought that dude was a beast. He was great, but never given a chance. Snowball.
I think we need some youth. I think we need
He's
to draft.
still young. He's still young.
How old is he? How old is Marcus
28
Williams?
years old.
28, young buck, man. Hell
28.
yeah.
He's still
What's
young.
his price tag going to be though? Where's
Let's
he going
see.
to come in at?
Wouldn't it be because he got released that he still has the guaranteed money that he's getting from the Saints, if I'm not mistaken?
Right.
So almost like the Russell Wilson scenario.
Yeah,
now,
so taking
I'm
it
not-
over.
You know, potentially like I'll sign a 1-year deal for like 2, 3, 5, maybe 5 mil. I don't know. You know, that's me guessing in regards to that. But
I'm looking at his career average per year. It's about 7 mil.
Yeah, I don't know.
Why not?
Yeah, I was going to say, shot in the dark, giving him an opportunity. I'm in favor. I wouldn't be unopposed to it. He is a very good player, so I would not be unopposed to taking him. I just want to draft somebody too.
Yeah, so right here I'm looking at over the cap. His largest cap hit was 18 mil, and his largest cash payment was 16 mil. So he's pretty expensive.
Yeah, who's going to play what position though? Like Armand said, right? Marcus and Cisco both play.
probably
free
Cisco
safety.
would have to probably convert to strong, and
Yeah.
I think Marcus would stay at free.
Mhm.
So
And you got
I mean,
depth.
yeah, he does have like that, like that Ravens defense, which is always a good. You're getting a good solid player. I mean, like Chuck Clark had that freak neck injury, who was probably never the same. Unfortunately, probably never will be the same. For being honest, but when you think at like good ex-Ravens that became Jets, you think of CJ, you think of Bart Scott. So like it has worked. He is a little bit like on the older side. Do you want like maybe like a little bit of like veteran leadership on the defense?
I do, because I always think about Leonard, right?
Jim Leonard, yeah.
And
Mhm.
Jim Leonard was a Raven guy that
Right.
came on over here with us. He was the actual quarterback of that defense itself, too. So that's another one that for me is why but I don't see Marcus Williams being the Jim Leonard type of,
I don't either.
you know what I mean? So
yeah.
I don't see that one in regards to that, but I don't know.
If they do get him, I'm not going to be upset. If they don't, I'm also not going to be upset. He's somebody I could take or leave. If he comes here for the right price, I'm not willing to pay, multi-million-dollar contract for a 28-year-old safety.
So Snowball, let's take it to the line now.
Yeah, where we going?
All right, because this one has to be the one that needs to be talked about right
Yes,
now.
On
Sure.
defense, right? Oh no, okay, offense. There we go.
Because he brought it up, right? The Myers signing of it.
Yep.
Mm.
Now, there's a lot of fans that are wanting to play musical chairs right now. They're wanting to move Tittman on over to guard, AVT to right tackle,
Mhm.
plug in Josh Myers. I am against it, right? I do not want Tittman, who has played his butt off. He wasn't even the best center when he came out of his draft, right, during his draft class. He's outplayed that guy, which plays in New York as well, I think, with the Giants. He's good. He's solid. I wanted to keep Olu left tackle, Simpson at left guard. Then you have your guy Tittman there, and then you have AVT at right guard. For me, right, keep those guys together. Get yourself the right tackle that you need, which I think we might have them in this guy. It could possibly be something really good with Okafor and whatnot, right? But I really believe Josh Myers is a depth piece, and that's it, and that's what he is, the money that he's making. But Dan, you're not about that, right? You wouldn't mind seeing it go the way. Let me know why.
Well, yes and no, right? Like in a perfect world, I would rather have Tittman on the guard side. and our new acquisition at center. But with that being said, what I want the most of this offensive line, probably just the entire team, is competition. I want the front five earning their spots. I get it. Olu is a first rounder. He's a staple there. No one's taking him off the left tackle there. But as far as center and whatnot, I want Joe Tippmann to earn that center position right now and to showcase to the new head coach and the new GM, why'd you sign Myers? Why'd you sign him for? I get it. It's for depth, but you signed them. Is there something that you guys aren't telling me? Like Justin Fields and him, they're tight. I want everything on this roster breeding what Parcells brought. Every single piece, you knew that they would give everything in order to stay on the field and maintain their stability at starters. Tippmann, I love the guy. I think he's great. I think he would be better at guard. But if during training camp and whatnot, they keep going back and forth, and Myers is given Joe Tippmann a run for his money, that would be telling. At that point, putting fandom aside, looking at it objectively, Johnny, let's say Myers is outperforming Tippmann in training camp. Week 1, who would you want at center, protecting and snapping to Justin Fields? If Myers is in the lead, why force feed Tippmann at center?
I say this: if Myers beats Tippmann, then there's a bigger issue that's we're all over again in regards to the coaching staff itself. That should not happen at all. But to what you're saying, if he beats him out in camp on a fair one-to-one thing, then that's a conversation that needs to be talked about. I mean, there's a lot more issues in regards when you're putting it that way, right? But I don't think it happens. I mean, dude, I love Tippmann, man. Tippmann got that. He got that mullet, bro. I feel like that dude, like
The Wisconsin waterfall.
you know, it's a
Continuity. Continuity. I'm sorry, but
Yep.
Dan, I'm gonna disagree a little bit. I want the continuity in the line. The only thing that Justin Fields might prefer about Myers over Tippmann is the familiarity with his butt.
Yep.
That's about it. Like, other than that, I want to keep the core. Now it's core 4, right, on the line. We don't have a right tackle anymore, so I'm not in the camp of moving AVT around. I just don't want to do it. I like what we have now. Just get a right tackle. I mean, who's the guy that we brought in who's like a right tackle? Okafor, right? Okafor.
Yep.
He's a question mark for me. Like, what happened in New England? Did they put him at left tackle?
Yeah, and
he
he
playing?
was very very vocal apparently about not wanting to be a left tackle.
Yeah, but I forget who it was on the Jets who said, I forget who it was, but somebody said switching from left tackle to right tackle, like try wiping with the other hand.
Right.
Boy Green said that.
Did he
Yep.
say? He said, and
Yeah.
Very difficult.
and it's you know what? That's a good example of like switching sides. Like it's not if it's not innate in you. If you're like Becton said, I am a left tackle, and then he wound up being a right guard.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, some people have it in them to just. So if this Okafor wants to be the right tackle, I don't know. Draft a right tackle. Let's see what we get. Who's the Membu?
yeah.
That's another guy. Yeah.
Armand
I would love
Membu,
him
yeah.
at right tackle. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Or Willis.
right?
Jedrick Willis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just I don't know. I am for keeping the line intact the way it is at this point, using Myers as a backup.
I'm in the same boat.
I was on the Jets app the other day, and I'm just scrolling through by position, right? Just looking through all the players, and it starts alphabetical, and it was like C, center, Tippmann, and then it goes to cornerback, and I was like, whoa, like who do we have other than? I mean, what do we have the other Xavier Newman
That's another guy. Yeah.
to play center? So I'll take Myers as a backup and leave Tippmann where he is. That's it.
So Liam,
What's up?
so we said his name and let's talk about him, right? So Okafor comes back right tackle. He was Justin Fields right tackle,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
So
Was
wasn't he?
No,
I-
no.
No, never mind. I'm thinking
No.
something else. But anyways, he was a Steeler, then he went to the Patriots. That's what I'm
Yes,
thinking. I'm getting
yes.
all mixed it up. But he's there now, right? And that's the guy that's in there. I remember when he was coming out, he was one of the names that I did want us to go ahead and pick up.
Yep.
Right back then and stuff like that. But it didn't happen. Your thoughts on this? What do you see in regards to him being the potential starting right tackle for the New York Jets?
I like it. I mean, I know that like it didn't really work out with New England. Again, compete. Right now, he is probably the starter. I mean, if they were to go out or get somebody like Wills or somebody like that, or they draft like an Armand Membu, really just solidify the offensive line. What by any means necessary. That's really yeah, he's ready. There he is in the chat. Our backup co-host Armand Membu, he's ready to go. But I'm excited for it. Another that kind of seems like the theme. He's another under the radar kind of guy.
Mhm.
I don't know how old he is, but I'm not sure.
27,
Is he?
26.
27
young.
years old. Yeah,
He's
young.
August 8th.
You know what? I'm glad that we're not going out and getting these
Yep.
linemen like Tyron Smith or Dwayne Brown. Like these mid-30s guys. How old is he, Dan?
27.
27.
27 years old.
Mhm.
Yeah. So when? How long has he been in the league? 5 years or so, right? Probably, right? 4 or 5 years, somewhere in there.
He started with the Steelers, right? And he was drafted, I believe, in 2018, maybe.
Right. So he's been around a little bit. He
Mhm.
does. I guess he has. He's considered a veteran at this point. Not really a whole lot to write home about. Sorry for it being a boring answer, but if he's the right guy, then let him play. Like I said, I want him to compete though. As for everybody, same thing goes for Myers with Tippmann and everything like that. I just want the best possible options starting for this team.
Yeah, 100%. I just want what Snowball was saying. I want these guys to be together for
Right.
the long run and for a while. I don't want to keep doing this whole, I think it's been, and I think shout out to the soldier that said it over here, Dark Soldier, right? Appreciate you coming in.
Yes, sir.
14 years since we've had the same O line.
Yeah.
It's been that long, right? Does that go back to the Brick, Mangold, Al Faneca, all them cats? DeVito, I don't know. DeVito was a defensive player, my bad. But yeah, man, I don't want to keep changing, man. I just don't want to keep doing that, so you said do not quote him, so I apologize.
Now, question for you, Johnny. Do you want to go right tackle at 7? From what I'm hearing, this draft class is deep at offensive linemen, offensive and defensive linemen.
So when we had Chaos here, right, I honestly think for the 7th pick, I am still on the trade back, right?
Okay.
If a player drops, right, your Genty, if your Sanders drops there, right? Saints, Cowboys, right? Come up, get this guy that you guys are really, really wanted. Go back just enough, but pick up a 3rd, right?
Mhm.
And I think for me, that's where we should go because there's guys, to your point, that are out there. The Boston College right tackle kid that what's his name? Chaos went ahead and told me about somebody to look into as well. And I saw it and I was like, holy crap, he's right. This dude is a beast. Because I believe that we do that. And I think Warren is or Tet is still there. I honestly I'm leaning more going towards a weapon. Our wide receiving room right now, mean, it's Garrett Wilson and Lazard right now,
That's
right?
where I'm at.
And then
Corley.
Corley.
Gross.
You know, so we need weapon, but I'm all about the trading back piece of it to be able to go ahead and get that. The Warren kid, though, man, if we're gonna be running these RPOs, if we're gonna be running the ball a lot more, the guy's nasty, right? He's gonna drive players 15 yards back and still be blocking out there. So that's somebody that I would not mind, but I don't know, man.
I'm in the exact same boat as you, man.
But then we sign this guy.
That's a backup. That's
Right?
a backup. That's a backup. And not only that, that just don't be surprised that I get it that we're signing a lot of 20-year-olds and whatnot. We might do a trade for Dallas Goedert, and I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind to get a solidified tight end. Gives us some more flexibility going into the draft. So let's say we have a choosing of Warren or T-Mac. To me, the choice would be simple. I would go T-Mac. Guy 6'5", acrobatic, speed, reminds me exactly of someone like Brandon Marshall. So if we have to give up a fourth, I think that's what they're looking for, Philly, the fourth for Goddard. You have your staple there at tight end. You start plugging in these holes with solidified pieces. Stone Smart, I was looking at his highlights with the Chargers. He's again, he seems serviceable. I mean, what I really don't know much. It's like Smart and Yeboah. Like it's the same, apples and apples. There's nothing different from both of them. Just that this kid is a little bit younger than Yeboah, I believe.
Right.
26. He's a 26 years old guy. There's a big upside in regards to Smart himself. There's some people that have had him as a tight end one, just didn't work out over there within the Chargers itself, right? Because I mean, look who the guys have had over there.
Right.
I don't know. It's another intriguing one that has a lot of upside that could potentially be something that we hit on. Imagine that. I mean, Snowball, thoughts? Is it a smart move?
Warren. I'm sorry. 7, Warren. I don't know. We need a versatile player. He brings like 3 assets with him, right? The ability to, like, I don't know. I was watching highlights of this kid, and for him to take a snap and like charge the line, that's pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm.
He was a quarterback. Was he a quarterback at some point?
Smart.
Warren.
Oh, Warren, yes, he
Right.
was at one point. Yep.
And
He
he's
was a quarterback.
lefty. So,
Mhm.
To be able to pass the ball, block, and run, like, I don't know. I just don't see not taking him at 7. Like, if he's there, like we all, everyone, Bowers, right? People were all about, getting Bowers last year. I see Warren as a more versatile player. So I'm big on Warren. Trading back, if Tet's not there, if Warren's not there, and if like Membo's not there, then trade back. But those would be my picks. So yeah, I'm taking one of those people at 7. If they're not there, then trade back and get assets.
Yeah, Johnny said it.
Yeah.
Smash the like. Absolutely.
Please.
Is there any world that Conklin comes back? I personally want Conklin back. And if he does come back, does that affect Warren at 7?
I don't think so.
Mhm.
I think that goes, and look, I would love Conklin back. Honestly,
yeah.
man, Conklin is that dude, right? But Warren's a game changer, man. Like,
Yeah, he
this is somebody that went on the mic and said, "My dad told me to play like number 44."
Wow.
And that's who I need to go ahead and be like. When
Yes.
I heard that, I was like, I was with my pops, and my dad was like,
He just looked at your dad. You never told me to be like number 44.
yeah. So I was like, Dad, what's going on, man? You took me to go see Tony Miola, man. Like, come on,
Number
man.
one.
Like, that didn't even make it, but Dano, shout out to the Danger Zone. The boys
Yeah.
are coming on a little bit later on today.
Graham.
He brings up Graham. Thoughts on him?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, not opposed to it again.
Spill the trenches, baby.
Yeah.
Give me a big guy inside there, and then
Yeah.
let's go.
Not
Even
at
though we did get one though.
Yeah, not at 7, man. That's way too high. Way too high. I like the guys that we already got here. You know,
Yeah. I think it's got to be offense.
now if we move back, yeah, and Graham is there, screw it, let's do it. If we move back to, I don't know, 11 or 13, and he's there, I'm all in. Not at 7. You need a playmaker at 7 or a solidified right tackle. But
Yeah.
again, Warren to me is, let me preface this. I do not like drafting a tight end. I am scarred. Snowball, you could attest, man.
Yeah.
Kyle Brady, Johnny
Mhm.
Mitchell, and then finally having the ability to draft what's his name? The tight end from the Steelers, Heath Miller.
Keith
We
Miller.
traded out of that spot in order to trade with the Raiders for Doug Jolly. So I'm looking at this Warren kid, and it's just like war stories here. I'm like, oh, this is not good. But Warren, I'm in, man. I'm in.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I got all this stuff. You know what I mean? You're right, Ephraim. You're right. I'm not going to fight back. You're 100% right. But at the same token, I'm trying to fight that. I'm trying. But if we get Warren, I'll be the first guy to buy his jersey.
Yeah.
First one.
I'm getting ready to order that number 7.
That's
Yeah.
the thing. It's like, see, I never understood like why it's so taboo to draft a tight end or even like a running back in like the first round. They're playmakers. They're game changers.
Mhm.
You get your guy. That's
Lee-
just my personal opinion.
But Liam,
And-
they take such a long time to develop.
Oh, yeah, I know. But whatever, right? I mean, like,
Right.
and see, it's kind of like unfair because if we do get Tyler Warren, immediately he's going to be compared to Brock Bowers, and that's not fair because Brock Bowers is generational. He's what do you have, like the greatest tight end rookie season of all time, I believe, right?
Yeah.
So
But
I mean, it's
that-
unfair to compare him to that.
But that word right now, right? It's being used.
Oh,
Nobody
yeah,
really-
everybody
no-
is generational.
Nobody really has. This is the year where let me look, and this is coming from, I'm a Georgia Bulldogs fan. I love the Dogs. Okay, let's go Dogs. But can he do that now with people having film on him, knowing he's the real threat out in Oakland and all that? Well, with the Raiders, I'm sorry, the Vegas Raiders itself.
Mhm.
Let's see if he's going to be able to go ahead and redo that all over again. I think he can. I
Right.
think he's that special of a player and all that. But that's the questions that are going to be asked in regards to that. Look, I think for me, again, if you ask me in an hour from now, who would I want? It would change again, because just like what Phil is saying, how great is it that we have so many different options?
Yeah.
Because we're being put in a position that we're not just strapped. Before the Fields pick, we kept talking about was Cam Ward
Yeah.
or Sanders. Cam Ward or Sanders. That's not even a talk about anymore. Now we're talking about Warren, we're talking about Graham, and we're talking about Membo and building the trenches itself.
Can we just hit on that for a second, Johnny, though?
Yeah.
Right. So we have Tyrod Taylor. We have Justin Fields. Who knows if Jordan Travis is going to be on this team when we start the season?
Mhm.
Does that affect what we do in the draft do we draft a quarterback this year? Do we wait until next year?
Personally, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't draft a quarterback.
I would. I would.
Okay, so we have a difference of opinion. Okay, Liam, state your case.
I would probably keep Jordan Travis for one more year and see what he can do. Without if he, I don't know. Last I heard, he had a setback. I don't know where he is now. Aaron Glenn didn't like. I think it was Antoine Staley asked him at the combine, and but it was like a two-parter question. So Aaron Glenn kind of chose like I don't remember what the whole entire question was, but kind of leaned more towards the second part. I'd give him another year. If he's not ready, he's not ready. We have
Okay.
Justin Fields, who, historically, knock on wood, is pretty healthy. Tyrod Taylor, on the other hand, not healthy, And if you get one of these mid-round quarterbacks, like what are you really expecting from them? Obviously they fell to the third, fourth, fifth, and I get it. I know where Jordan Travis was drafted, so you could, kind of come back at me with that case if you want. But that's why he's also our third-string quarterback right now. We have a young quarterback with a lot of upside. We have a veteran in the building. I'm not opposed to maybe bringing in one more cheap veteran. Not really sure who. I just don't want to waste not a waste, but I don't want to use draft capital on another quarterback that most likely will have no impact on this year or probably even next year. Here's the thing with if it doesn't work, we're probably going to be in the same boat next year where it's a much stellar class, and I get it. There's going to be a lot of pushback, and rightfully so. There could be a lot of pushback. If we do draft a quarterback in this year's draft, am I going to hate it and punch my wall? No. I just feel like there's a lot of needs that could be filled, with a lot deeper position groups, just personally.
Okay. Dan,
Yeah.
you had an opposing opinion.
I did.
And hit the like, by the way, if you haven't already.
So with Pete Carroll, right? One of the big splash signings when he went to Seattle was Matt Flynn. That was the guy. 6 touchdowns in one game with the Green Bay Packers. Huge signing. But in that draft, they drafted a kid in the 3rd round, Russell Wilson.
Yep.
Everyone looked at him. One read option guy, small, doesn't have that much. They didn't expect much. Guess what happened? He won a Super Bowl. He was a franchise quarterback. I was always under the impression every year you have to draft a quarterback until you hit. Look at Mike Holmgren when he was with the Packers. Look at all of these quarterbacks behind Brett Favre. Aaron Brooks, Kurt Warner, Mark Brunell, Ty Detmer. You don't stop. Again, yes, we have a lot of glaring holes, but let's say Will Howard is there in the 4th round. Why not? I mean, again, you have someone like Jalen Milroe. If the team thinks, you know what, we have Fields here, we can't put all of our eggs in that basket with Fields. As much as we love this, he's wearing number 7, we're getting hyped up. We have to also look at the perspective of the head coaches and the GM. What if it fails? Who do you have back there being groomed? And I get it. Next year, it's always the case. The next year is the best quarterback draft class. The next year is the best one.
Not according to Armand.
but who knows, right? Like, again, the big deal is Arch Manning. All right, let's say we tank this year. We suck, whatever. And we're like, all right, you know what? At least we're going to get something in return. Arch Manning's like, I don't want to play for the Jets.
Yeah.
My whole thing is seize what you have now. 4th round, 5th round. If someone that you really liked and you coveted, he's there, take him. Why not?
So Dan, what would the most Jet thing be that we do this year?
You know it.
That next year's draft class is the class for quarterbacks, right? What do the Jets do this year?
Oh, they draft a quarterback at 7 in Jackson Dart. That would be the most Jets thing that you could ever imagine. And I keep saying it. Last year, Atlanta, they did a splash deal with Kirk Cousins. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, at 8th overall, they get Michael Penix, a guy that a lot of people thought he would be in, the middle of the 1st or towards the 2nd rounder.
Johnny.
Oh, thank you, Professor Snowball. The most Jet thing would be is that we win 12 games, knocking us back out all the way to the 28th pick, and we don't get none of these quarterbacks on here, and we're all like, why the hell? I tell you guys this. I've been saying it for a while in itself. draft a quarterback every single year,
every year.
past the 5th round if you can.
Every
Yes.
year.
If it's in the 4th and and they like Will Harrell, I'm all about the guy. I like him. Do it, right?
Right.
In the later rounds, right? Riley Leonard, right, from Dame. That guy could ball. It's not
Yep.
being talked about enough itself, right? Bring back home the kid from Syracuse.
Yeah, Colin McCord.
Kyle McCord,
Yep.
right? He's another one that's out there that there's a lot of tape and he's good. He's good.
So let me ask you this: who out of who's there at quarterback this year? If we have a mobile quarterback like Justin Fields, and we have, I mean, Tyrod Taylor has wheels too. Like he can move. He can, he's got legs. What quarterback that's out there that isn't, a first round quarterback who fits the mold? Who can carry out the game plan like Taylor and Fields?
Well, if we're speaking about being athletic, right, then that would be Milroe,
Yeah.
wouldn't it?
Mhm.
Right? Milroe is probably the fastest quarterback, I believe, out of Cam Ward and Sanders himself that would be in the later rounds potentially for that. And there's a lot of upside with him that's not really being talked about. His mechanics had to change over there in Alabama, something that really does mess up a lot of quarterbacks, but he did it as well. So that's somebody in regards to that. Look, whatever this organization is going to do, I'm all about it because it needs to change. I am really, really happy right now with the free agency and what they're doing because we're finally not adding all these old over the hill guys, right, that are trying to get that last bag to come on over here with us on our dime. And what do I mean by that? The Sundays that myself, Liam, Dan, Snowball are watching this game and we're about to break that television and everything because Tyron Smith, right, is blocking somebody like this right now. And the guy just went ahead and did a freaking swim move on him and is getting ready to kill the quarterback itself. I don't want that anymore. Right. So, like, again, to answer Snowball's thing, it would be Milroe, right? But I think he'll be going too high. If I'm going to be honest, I think he's going in the 3rd round.
I would. And listen, I'm a Will Howard truther, but I would add Will Howard to that pack too. He is a very mobile big guy. So
Can I interject on this with Milroe?
Go ahead.
I'm very high on him, and even if we get him in the 5th round, I see him as a contributor to this team, a la Brad Smith, where we have to move the chains. And maybe as time goes on, he turns into a slash Cordell Stewart, where you're just easing him in. You're breaking that Woody Johnson curse of drafting a quarterback so high that you have to push him out there for just for the fans to be like hyped up. Jalen Milroe has a lot to offer. And I think under the tutelage of someone like Fields, it would be phenomenal. I would love it. Yeah, I'm with Phil on this. That's it.
It's a new dawn.
Yep.
It's a new day.
So guys,
That was for you, Phil.
I started a couple of questions, right? And this was one of them that was back there, right? So it's 2026, right? Now, do you think we draft a quarterback then as well if Justin Fields turns out to be good?
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect. So that
Like I
Snowball?
said, like I wouldn't hate it if we go with this year because there's no consensus like really where to take a quarterback. I mean, like look at Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant. Look at Tom Brady, 6th round. You have some in the 1st round. So like there's no right or wrong answer with it. It's just like my personal opinion, like I already stated, not gonna waste any more time on it. But if they do draft a quarterback this year, am I pissed? No. I definitely think that they should next year for sure.
Can anyone on this panel name a quarterback who everyone said this is a grand slam? You cannot go wrong drafting this guy as a QB, and they had major success.
Andrew Luck is the only one that I could think of.
Peyton
That's
Manning.
it.
Peyton
Peyton Manning was horrible his first year.
Yeah.
Still to this day, he holds the most interceptions by any rookie quarterback.
But he had
coming in.
28 touchdowns, 28 interceptions. But you saw
The potential.
promise. Oh my God!
Yeah.
And then the second year happened, and then the third, and then forget it. He went to his full potential. Him, Andrew Luck. Again, Andrew Luck. That's the epitome of not surrounding your franchise quarterback with the right offensive line.
Yeah.
That's another thing. And again, to answer the question that was there before, you continue to draft quarterbacks because let's say if Justin Fields knocks it out of the park this year, you want to make sure that it's consistent.
Right.
You don't want to see in 2026 the guy just turns into a pumpkin, and you had the opportunity of getting or drafting someone. Yeah, I mean, even with again the whole thing with Milroe, you draft him this year. He's a contributor. It doesn't inhibit you from drafting another quarterback because Milroe is that part of the team to keep the chains moving.
You know what I really like too is that it seems like at least for now the Jets are past the point of throwing a rookie quarterback out there year one. Sit. I love the idea of a quarterback sitting and learning. I absolutely love that idea, and that seems to be like the way. I mean, like Aaron Rodgers, not to keep bringing him up, but like the Packers do it the right way every year.
Mhm.
It used to be the way.
Yeah.
And then we got away from the way.
Now we're back to the way. Do you know
now
the
we're
way?
back, right. Now we're back to the way. Who broke that mold? Who was the quarterback who broke? I'm trying to think. Who was the quarterback who broke that mold, came in their first year and like lit it up?
Brent Roethlisberger.
Roethlisberger, right?
Yeah, Big Ben.
For some that, but like kind of like Mark Sanchez comes to mind too.
Sam Bradford.
Yeah.
He was the last quarterback to get that. I mean, remember, guys, when we were drafting rookie quarterbacks, they were getting stupid money.
Yep.
That's changed it all that. But look,
Yeah.
Phil brings this up.
Mr. Fake
And
Spike
but
Gonzalez.
that was his second year. It wasn't the rookie year. It was his second year where he threw 48 touchdowns. First year, he was still a backup. He was still learning the ropes. I think that first year, it was just like, I think Afram right there, Vic.
Yeah,
oh
Vic,
my God.
right? Yeah.
Yo, man.
Shout out to Vic, man. Norfolk State
cheat
University coach right now. He changed the game even more, man.
Yeah.
That dude was a cheat code, exactly, Snowball.
Yeah.
So we're gonna hit you with these quick hitters real fast, okay?
Let's do it.
These are the real ones that I had to go ahead and use different types of search engines because I had no idea who these individuals were.
Okay.
So
Let's do
I'm gonna
it.
give you one real quick that we all know and love. I was about bringing him back, and they brought him back. Isaiah Oliver, right? Real quick, love it or not love it?
Love it.
Love
Liam, Snowball.
Court's out.
Okay, so here we go. Here are the names. Do you know who this is? Because I don't.
It's the name of my weed whacker.
Yeah.
He's a dream.
Okay, yeah.
No idea.
I mean, he's the new linebacker,
Love it.
right?
Yeah.
I pull up his stuff, and I really don't see too much of
not
him.
gonna hate it until I have to hate it.
Okay,
Right.
well, that's one.
Trust the
All right.
coaching. Trust the coaching.
Okay, so we got him. Then this guy.
You would be jamming.
That's
I
actually
know it
the,
would be jamming too. I'm in. I love the first name.
yeah, I like jamming. That's actually the name of my weed whacker, Dan.
Oh, nice.
It's always
Love it.
jamming.
Yeah.
Oh, jamming.
Right? Jamming Davis. Well, he was on the team.
Yeah, and
Wasn't Jamming Davis on the team?
he was on the team, he was on the practice squad. He
Yeah.
came over from
Oh,
he came over from the Commanders, and we stashed him away.
Right?
Who
so
knew?
they're like, okay, we're keeping you.
Who knew?
Good for him.
Oh, hey, he's not. Now this one right here.
Yes.
That's a head scratcher.
yes. No, this is hard.
Morstead. Don't we have Morstead?
We have two punters on the team right now. Don't you know that's
Yeah.
what we're doing now? That's like the new thing.
Can any
What-
of these two kick field goals? Like,
So what
that's
is
the problem.
what does this mean for Thomas Morstead? What does it mean that this kid's coming in? Did you see this kid? 100-yard punt.
What?
The The 100-yard punt.
Wow.
Stop it.
Is that a real
No.
thing?
It's a real thing. Look it up. Look up punter,
Dan, we
Austin
just won't
McNamara.
show it.
the 100-yard punt.
Right.
Dan and I learned our lesson. We're the new bad boys of YouTube. So.
He netted what? They brought it out to the 20, so he netted 80.
All
Tell
right,
you.
so that guy.
Eric has a good comment here. We have 2 punters and 1 receiver. New York Jets
Wow,
football,
you're
baby. Come
right.
get them.
It is the way,
That's the new way. I hope you guys know that.
right?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, 2 punters, 1 receiver.
Oh, so you have one of the punters and then you split out Morstead as a gunner? I get it.
You could.
I get it.
I don't know. He's old. I would put McNamara.
Never know, man. Come on, man. Don't knock age.
Okay, so and then I'm gonna give this one right here.
I love this. I can't
yeah.
pronounce it because if I start pronouncing it, my furniture is going to start moving. I absolutely love this move here.
If
That-
you try to go ahead.
Dwangu.
If you try to pronounce it, we're definitely gonna get canceled.
I just did it. Dwangu. I'll
That
pronounce it for
touchdown
you.
against the Seahawks, that's what he reminds me of. Dustin Miller. Again, just the special teams aspect of it. Leon Washington, very fast. You want to start off at the 40 or at the 35, whatever the case is. He gives you great field position. As soon as that was one of the few parts. Did we get him after Joe Douglas? That was a Phil Savage move, right?
I believe so.
Oh yes.
That really was, yeah. Again,
Savage.
I
He
think
is-
I'm calling him Kenny Nwangu.
When I
Connor
saw,
is telling us how to pronounce it.
That's right.
I can.
It's
I can-
Kine.
Kane.
I like Kenny. I'm gonna keep him. All right, I'm gonna call him Kenny.
I'm just going to
Kenny.
call you Kenny, okay?
When I
You
saw
cool.
him running that back, during that Seattle game, the first player for some reason that popped in my head was the late great Joe McKnight.
Oh yes,
It
man.
just gave
Yep.
me Joe McKnight flashbacks.
So it
Nope.
was JD.
Connor
Oh.
says it was JD.
Connor,
Connor's like, you guys are wrong.
Jet Guru.
Yes.
All right, so we got
Thanks,
that
Connor.
on that. So, first and foremost, thank you guys for coming on. But
Yeah.
in
course, man.
fashion of the show itself,
Mhm.
right? You guys always let us call in. Now, I have no idea how to put in the actual call-in link, but we got some of the OGs that are in here.
Okay.
I think we should bring them on, man. I would love to
Yes.
see, like
Yeah.
Afro,
Yes.
Armin, have them come on real quick and tell us a little bit of like what do they think? What are their takes in regards of what's happening in free agency?
Yeah.
Is it going to mess up the draft, or are we doing good? I mean, your guys, what do you guys think?
Oh boy, it's about to pop off now, baby.
To Afro,
Afro, he's been waiting.
Afro, you must call. You must call.
He's like bouncing in the background, ready to go. Get his
Afro's
little
gonna
sweat
put the
broken.
shirt on.
Hey, all I know is this, and here he is. You speak.
Yeah,
me.
yeah, the white
Coming.
beater on just 5 minutes ago, and you're like, blue shirt.
Yeah.
I'm
Love
going to
it,
be called the
man.
Renegade again.
Yeah,
That's
Tyson-
the best.
Tyson's gonna
Renegade
love
now.
this. Now you're on Jets Worldwide too.
Oh my God.
That's it.
He's gonna cancel us.
We're recruiting Afram.
We are actually. I have been very, very hard. Afro, thank
Yes,
you
sir.
so much for coming, man. Like,
No, I just saw the link and
Welcome
then I said,
to-
what's going on? And I saw you guys on Dan's and Dan and Liam's channel. And I said,
Congratulations.
then I
We're
realized,
signing you.
then I remember Fridays at 7:30, right?
yep, Fridays at 7:30,
There he is.
and there he is.
the
Let's
man
go
of the
Mets,
hour.
baby. I see that
Let's
Mets
go,
blue
Mets.
over there that he got
Mr.
on.
Membu himself.
Armand Membu.
Yes.
There he is.
So Afrin,
yes.
Armand, you guys heard us talk a lot tonight, right? In regards of a lot of the free agents that we picked up. What are some of your thoughts in regards to a lot of these players? Like, what are the effects for the draft for picking? Do you guys like the moves that Muji and Glenn have done? We're going young, right? There's a lot of the players are very unknown that haven't been proven yet. Thoughts?
There's
Johnny,
a lot
I
of
just,
1-year deals. It's a lot of 1-year deals. So I think there's just depth, a lot of depth they put behind there. The one I think I like most is the right tackle.
Okorafor.
That whole thing, for more and more I'm finding out, is he was strictly, or he played right tackle throughout college, throughout his years with Pittsburgh, and did not want to play left tackle. He wasn't good at left tackle, and they pushed him there anyway. I think Boy Green was finally trying to find out, did he agree? Did they just shove him to left tackle, or did he agree that he would go to left tackle? No one knows. I think I'm leaning towards if he didn't want to play and left tackle, and that's why he left. I don't think he agreed to it, and they just put him there. The biggest knock on him now is because he left the team after that one game, so that doesn't look good on his part. But if he can be solid on right tackle, that tells me one thing: Tyler Warren is their pick at 7.
100%.
Because now they have the left tackle. Now, someone mentioned the defensive tackle. From what I'm understanding, there is a drop off from tight ends in later. There's a lot of tight ends in this draft, but there is a drop off more after Warren than there is with
Wide receivers.
no, the defensive tackle.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can still get a good defensive tackle in later rounds. So
Walter Nolan,
Yeah.
Graham's partner in Michigan. I forgot his name, but
Yeah.
I've heard good
it's
things.
not
about
much
him.
of a drop off from the
Yeah.
number one guy versus the tight end position. So
From I just got a text from Tyson saying LOL celebrity over here.
yeah, he just sent me too.
Hey,
And he
hey.
tells me all the time he doesn't watch any of the shows, which is BS.
Hey, big
I'll
shout out
get
to
him.
big shout out to Tyson, because he was on with the Afterburners yesterday, and seeing him talk in regards of what he speaks about in regards to mental health and the bullying that goes on within the social media and stuff like that, and what he does right now. I believe he is currently doing a marathon, right?
Jersey City Marathon, April 13th.
So, guys, if you guys can check out the show that was on the Afterburners yesterday, and his information in regards for the fundraising, I think 3,000 that he's
Yes.
put up already.
He has a
Um,
GoFundMe page. He has T-shirts he's selling.
I have the link here if you want me to just post it up just for a second.
Yeah,
It's up to you.
yes, please. That would be huge. But all right, so we got Afram to go ahead and tell us. Now, the other guy that I wanted to know in regards to is the one that me and him kind of go back and forth. But as of late, we've been kind of seeing eye to eye. Mr.
Yeah.
Armand, what's going on, man? Your
What's up?
thoughts?
So I agree with everything Afram said. Competition.
Yep.
They want. Glenn always talked about being competition within the team for camp, fighting for spots. I think Myers is a depth piece. If Pittman was to go down with an injury or just play bad, it's a solid piece to bring at center. A guy 26 fits the mold because they've been going for guys under 30. There's a few guys I would like to bring in that are either one is Asante Samuel, 25. I would move Stevens, who's good against the run. I move him to strong side safety, pair him with Cisco.
Yes.
And you
Don't be
use him,
surprised if that happens.
But I want to do that because I want to bring in Asante Samuel. And like we talked to, Snowball said earlier, trust in the coaching. I got to trust in the coaching staff to develop not just the quarterback, but other players. I know Samuel, there's a reason why he's still out there in like day 4 or 5, whatever you want to say, for free agency. And he's 25. And we talk about how Aaron Glenn's here to fix Sauce and all of his problems at corner from last year, covering wise, holding on to the jerseys. Well, if he could fix Sauce, let him see. Let's fix another 25-year-old corner in Asante Samuel.
His dad and Revis are gonna love that. Him coming to the Jets.
So why does Tippmann get the moniker of the guy who has the potential to be the bad player?
I don't think he does. I think he's the starter.
think
I just
Okay, all right.
He was solid he was solid during the season, but if you remember in practice last year,
No, yeah, Yipman, I understand, but like you know,
Yeah.
he made a full recovery.
I think he's
But
going to be
let's-
the starter.
Let's look at the picture. Who was their coach? Who were their coaches? And let's
right?
not go back. We always go back. We go back
And
to
who
the
was his
past.
quarterback?
Yeah, we always go back to the past,
Right.
and we remind ourselves what happened to us here, what happened to us there.
Yeah.
We got to forget that because you're just going to dwell on the past all the time, and it's not fun. So
Now,
you got to give each guy a new regime a chance. He's
I
brand
just want to
new.
know if anybody knows, has Myers played guard before? Because he
No,
could be another. He hasn't.
no. From my understanding, he was
No.
pure
4-year
center.
center,
starter
yeah.
in Green Bay
Yeah.
as a center.
And I believe also they got him. I think because there's not many centers in the draft.
The intriguing thing too with Tippmann is I believe Nick Mangold has been working with him recently too, and if you guys have heard, like, see, here's like the cool thing about like this coaching staff is we're going to start seeing a lot of ex-players. If you think back to the introductory press conference, you know, look at all the players that were there: Wayne Corbett, Glenn Foley, Dan's guy was there, you know, Rob Carpenter, like a whole list of legends. And Nick Mangold, he's a Jet through and through. You know, he's going to be coming down, you know, during practice. Yeah, we're talking about practice. Yeah, no, I know, but he's going to be coming down to One Jets Drive. You know, I'm sure for training camp. And then actually, Mike Westhoff is going to be volunteering his services too for training camp. You know, so that's going to be huge. So you could expect a much improved players because it's going to be a much improved coaching staff this year. You know, and this is something that everybody wants to get a part of. You know, it's not like one of these bad coaching staffs. You're starting to see all these ex-players, all the ex-greats come back. Mike Westhoff, one of the greatest coaches, really, in my opinion, of all time.
Johnny, we have another person backstage, a man with extreme knowledge. Can we bring him in?
Of course.
Of course.
Not only does he have great knowledge, but my understanding that I've been told he is this generation's Frank Valley.
He is the smoothest pipes in the business.
Hey guys, how we doing?
Nice.
Yes.
What's up?
So
Nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you too, man.
Same here.
So yeah, I agree. First of all, about Myers, I think he was signed as a depth piece. He might even be a depth piece, like interior. He might be able to fill in at guard. I don't know. That might be something they could look at. Or in the case of a right or left tackle injury, you can move Tippmann, and then you got your center. So I just think he was brought in. But of course, everybody is going to compete for a starting job. Nobody should be penciled in except for maybe Wilson, you know, as like they're guaranteed their job.
Right.
So yeah, Fashanu, obviously.
so it's a competition at quarterback then?
Well, I mean, I
don't believe so. I think I saw U Stadium after the Fields report. They put out that through their sources that Fields is going to be the starter, and that supposedly the Steelers wouldn't promise him the starting role. That's why he came to the Jets. So I think Fields is the starter. There's no competition. The Jets just won't come out and say that now.
I don't think so, man. There's gotta be competition. Tyrod is not just going to go into
Justin Fields $30 million guaranteed.
Yeah, and Seattle paid Matt Flynn buku bucks to sit on the pine and have Russell Wilson play week 1.
Because Russell Wilson outperformed.
Right, because now we're using it. That's what I'm saying.
Tyrod's not going to outperform Justin Fields, they'll be the same.
Johnny, just saying it was very peaceful when it was just us.
Saying that that's what you want. You want that competition.
Justin Fields is the starter. Accept it. Like you
right now.
wanted it to
right
be.
now. Right now.
Week
now.
One, he will start.
But Dan, be realistic here. You got a 36-year-old career backup against the 25-year-old.
27, Ephraim. 27.
Matt Flynn and Wilson were roughly around the same age. It was a different competition back then.
But don't you want Tyrod to push Justin Fields? Don't you want Justin Fields to look over his shoulder to say, I have to level up?
I think Tyrod is
if he didn't level up with Russell Wilson in Pittsburgh, what makes you think Tyrod's going to do that for him?
Yeah. So I think Tyrod knows his role.
Okay, can I say something? Can I say something?
Go ahead, Phil.
All right.
Go ahead,
Go
Phil.
ahead,
So,
Phil.
because I said Wilson's probably the only guy guaranteed a starting job, we started this whole thing. There's probably 4 or 5 guys that you can pencil in as more than likely, almost guaranteed, whatever terminology you want to use. And yeah, Fields is penciled in, obviously, as the starting quarterback. That doesn't mean it's impossible for him to be supplanted, but let's face it, he's the starting quarterback as of right now. All right. So, I think there's a little semantics about that. And I kind of started it by saying Wilson was the only guy. But I do think that there are certain guys you're obviously penciling in as number one, and it would take quite a bit to bump him out of that role. All right. So now, as far as real quick, back to Dan Marino, the original point that was made or question that was asked was, who was the first guy that kind of broke that mold of he didn't sit for a couple of years and become the guy? And that was Marino. He took over the job after, I think, 5 or 6 games. He went to the Pro Bowl. He had 20 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. He had an exceptional year for a rookie quarterback. And back then, that was very unusual. So the way the question was phrased was, who was the first guy? I believe Marino was the first guy.
We're not going to disagree. I believe.
Okay.
To be honest, maybe I misinterpreted the question, because what my interpretation was right off the gate, like as a rookie to take over the league. Like for me, it was Big Ben. Like no one, I think he was 15-1 or 14-2 his rookie
But
year.
it took Tommy Maddox to get hurt in week 1 to
Week
get
one.
him into the game.
It's
All right. So
He didn't start off the
Someone,
bat.
someone in
Peyton
the
started
comment is
off the
saying
bat.
Bart Starr.
Bart's.
Bart Starr.
Yeah.
I
That's
remember Bart
what
Starr. I just don't remember when he
Phil-
started.
my own mind is saying in
So
comments.
if Phil, so you're
Yeah.
someone that I do value when you speak, and in regards to the knowledge that you bring in when we talk about the Jets.
I
itself,
appreciate that.
right? So tonight you kind of heard what we were talking about, right? And as I asked Afram, as I asked Armand, in regards to everything that we're doing right now as the organization itself, right? Is this something that you believe is hindering us, right, to grow for this organization itself? Or are we doing it finally the right way, where we're not bringing in over the hill guys that are just trying to make that last bag over here? What are your thoughts about the signings that we have, where we're going as a franchise, and should the fan base believe in Glenn and Muji at the current moment?
Yeah. So first of all, I agree 100%. I like the fact that we're not bringing in a bunch of old guys on their last legs. We definitely are in a youth movement, and I like that. I think that we were not in the greatest situation to fill a lot of these holes with, quote unquote, star talent. You can't have a Pro Bowler at every position. And we're starting at a deficit with a lot of holes. I like what they're doing in the regard that they're trying to pick off guys that they think can help, guys that can play at the NFL level, and let's see what they can do. We got a lot of holes, and we're going to, so they're just kind of picking around the edges from what I've seen. Now, I do think maybe they overpaid for Stevens. However, salaries seem to be going a little nuts this year. There's a couple of guys that got big money. Kinlaw got big money. Even Ruddick. I mean, what's his name?
Reddick.
Hassan
Reddick.
Reddick.
Good God, what the hell?
Crazy.
So I'm going to give these guys every opportunity to prove they know what they're doing. I'm going to trust them until I can't trust them anymore. So if he thinks that this is a guy that he can coach up and be our solid QB2 or cornerback 2, I'm going to trust that until he's wrong. And I don't think there's a ton of great stuff out there. I don't think we've been able to fill some of the more prominent holes yet, but we got a ways to go before the draft. There is some great talent available at every position that we have need. There is great talent available. And like I said earlier in the chat, isn't it great to be in such a good position? Hey, man, we can take a guy that we really want at 7 if he's there. We can trade back, still get a great player. We're going to get a great player with our first pick. We're going to fill one of those needs: defensive tackle, pass rusher, tight end, right guard, right tackle. We're going to fill one of those positions, I believe, with our first pick. There's depth in this draft at certain positions. We're going to need a couple of wide receivers. By the way, a lot of people are talking about Alan Lazard, and everybody was assuming he was going to be cut. And I hear people already saying, what are they waiting for? Well, after Garrett Wilson, you really don't have anybody. So you're going to hold on to Lazard. And guess what? Come June, if he's our wide receiver 4 and cutting him only gives us, $6 million in cap space, and there's nobody out there to replace him with, he's probably going to stay on the roster. Okay. If they can make a trade, if they can pick up somebody, if they pick up a couple of guys, another thing we never know. There could be some undrafted free agents. We're going to pick up a few. We're going to pick up the garbage scraps in June. All right, man. I said this the other day and nobody got it because I'm too old. I did a Springsteen thing. I was like, have a little faith. There's magic in the night. We ain't a beauty, but hey, we're all right. And that's all right with me.
Absolutely, man.
From
Well,
your
just
lips to
to,
God's ears.
Well, just
Hopefully.
to Phil's thing, if they designated Lazard for June 1st release, they would have saved $11 million.
Right.
I don't know if they can do that when June comes. Like, will they get that 11 million in June if they cut him in June?
Yeah.
They could feel they still
Yeah.
would after him.
Yeah, if you cut him
So,
post June, all that you could cut 2 guys designate
Yes.
only 2 guys, but anything past post to June 1st is that
They-
value. You just can't use
that's
that
why
money.
That's why they did
Yeah.
Mosley to get the 4 million savings, but take the 8 million dead cap, and instead of taking 16 million.
Yep.
And so what they'll do is they'll fill out the wide receiver room, and in June, in the start of camp and stuff, Lazard will be there. But then to get $11 million, they will cut him in June without
Potentially.
designating as a.
Yeah.
Potentially, probably.
But here's the question:
Hmm?
What wide receiver you getting for $11 million?
That's my point. That's why you might.
Just to have on the books, just to have 11 million, because we don't know what they're going to have.
Yeah,
in
but I
June.
mean, you're gonna have to fill a wide receiver spot. So who you?
You
my
could get-
question is, and like Phil said, if you cut Lazard,
Mhm.
you're gonna get 11 million back. Who you signing for $11 million?
I go sign Amari Cooper right now.
Can I throw a wild card there as well? So
Rondell
what if
Moore. They're still
again
out there.
Olave? What if you
Yes.
trade for Chris Olave? Again, it's an enormous risk. The guy
Mhm.
suffers from a lot of concussions. But again, it all depends on how this offensive coordinator scheme is kind of schemed, right? We
Yeah,
have
but wait,
no idea.
real quick though. All right, you said sign Amari Cooper. Okay, that's wide receiver 2. Okay, we need 4.
Corley.
Lazard might end up being.
You got Corley. You could go sign Rondell Moore. You could draft
All right.
another receiver.
I get it, but you got to. That's what I'm saying. Is this may take time? They may go through the draft. They may look at what they have, and they may decide to keep him around as a 4th wide receiver because they can't replace him for the cap space they're going to get by cutting him.
Well, that's what I mean. I was saying like they're going to hold on to him until after the draft and into the summer, and then they'll cut him because they'll fill out the wide receiver room.
Also,
He's
we
a
got to look
sitting
at
duck right
because
now.
we
Maybe-
hate him doesn't
maybe.
mean they hate him. So-
Right, right.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
they'll
right.
hate him when he starts dropping passes.
Right.
And I'm gonna say this, and I haven't said it anywhere and everything at all. I haven't said it anywhere, right? So this is a Jets worldwide exclusive. First time out here. I want to keep Lazard, right? I know a lot of people are anti against Lazard and everything, but not myself. If we're truly going to be this ground and pound, as it say, right, that is a receiver that can block.
Yeah,
Yes.
big-
And I would love to have that over here with us. Again, he's not a player that's causing trouble out there and everything. His biggest issue as a receiver, you're dropping balls, which is your main, job in itself. But he does the dirt work that's not being talked about. Snowball, your thoughts on this?
Zach's not here anymore, so why don't we bring back Elijah Moore?
No,
I want to touch on that too when you're done, Snowball.
I'm just saying.
Oh.
You know,
The thing with Alan Lazard is he did quit on the team a couple years ago,
yeah.
and he did seem like he kind of had like that I don't give an F attitude. He's kicking soccer balls on the sidelines. Now, to preface that, I don't think that's going to happen with Aaron Glenn. I don't think he's going to allow that.
Mm-hmm.
We saw it. Me and Dan have been saying, with Aaron Glenn, you're either all the way in or you're all the way out. If we are going to keep Alan Lazard, I'm not 100% opposed to it. Like I don't see like no chance in hell we're getting rid of him. If he stays, he is a veteran wide receiver. He's just, the drop balls are a big problem. But to kind of touch back on what we had said earlier in the show, like when we were talking about like Justin Fields' arm, you don't need like the big, like they're fun to watch, of course. And, we just watched like the Hail Mary King Aaron Rodgers for the last, year and a half, pretty much. You don't need the big bomb every, 3 plays or whatever. You get some slant routes, some curls and stuff like that. Make it easier for him, scheme to his strengths. And I think he'll be all right.
How many third and twos, right, did we have when you got Braylon Allen, right, this huge running back, and you got Aaron Rodgers throw in a fade
to
Devontae for what? Dan, I'm sorry for cutting you off. What you were saying?
40-yard pass. Yeah, I know.
No, you bring up a good point there with Lazard. I mean, I didn't think about that. There's a possibility that we do keep him, and we have someone in Aaron Glenn that will hold his players accountable.
Exactly.
Again, look back in the past. I'm sorry, Afram, you don't like me doing this, but this is a good one. All right, listen.
Phil doesn't either, just to let you know.
No, but Kyle Brady, Stone Hands. That's what he was named. But when Parcells came here, I don't remember Kyle Brady dropping many balls.
It's coaching. It's called coaching.
It's coaching.
Yeah.
So if you have Lazard there now, that could be your wide receiver number 3, up until we're done filling up all these holes here. I love this. It didn't even cross my mind. I wrote him off. But Phil, you bring up a great solid point. I'm not writing him off. And not for nothing, keep the guy. Keep him with the right coaching. He could be exactly what this team needs. He's great in the run.
Yeah, he does block well.
Can we restructure him?
I wouldn't do that.
No,
I wouldn't do that because he's still under contract for next year. So if he has a good year, you got him on the cheap for next year.
Exactly.
So I would not do that.
Yeah.
But I would see what I got with him this year, especially like I said, we're going to need wide receiver depth. Okay. And he is a big body. He does block. He is a good contested pass guy. He's a good, over the shoulder sideline guy. You can draw up a few plays for him, and we're not going to be a dynamic passing offense. We're just not. Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody mentioned the Eagles being like the Eagles. I agree. The Eagles don't have a ton of plays. They execute them well. They know what they're doing. They know what their talent is, and they execute. That's what we got to do.
Jalen Hurts, I don't believe he threw for more than 3,000 yards.
It's like 3,200, I think.
Right? Was it? I thought it was
I
like
think so.
29.
And Fields hasn't even touched 3,000 yards in his career.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair.
He's gonna break it. He's breaking Ryan Fitzpatrick's season record over here with us.
You want to make a bet on that, Johnny?
No, I do not.
Yeah.
No, I think he might only pass for 2,500 yards, but he might rush for 15. So
I was going to say, he'll
we'll
rush
see.
for.
The
we'll
goal of the
see.
game is to get 10 yards every time,
Yeah.
run the ball, keep possession, wear down the defense, and keep their offense off the field.
And let's get that stifling defense from 22-23 back if we can. That goes a long way to that now you play ball control with that kind of defense, you got something.
Exactly.
Well, you have the right coach for it.
On the offensive side, right? Don't you want to keep the defense on its heels? Like that's what I'm expecting from this new offensive coordinator, Engstrand.
Okay.
Like I want him to bring something where we haven't seen in a very long time. When is it? Chan Gailey? Those days, that 1 year or 2 years, whatever that we had.
Right.
Something where as a fan, you're looking and you're just it's second and one. How many times as Jet fans We know there's a pass, there's a run for 9 yards, and you know for a fact we are not getting that yard. We
Yep.
know it. We
Right.
know it for a fact. But
Yep.
that's what I want to see with this new offensive coordinator. Bring something else, something new to the table as Jet fans and the opposing teams to say, we don't know. We have no idea what they're capable of.
Right. Yeah. And you got the optimum situation with the dynamic young quarterback, a good running back room, at least one good receiver, and I believe they're going to get 2 catchers of the football in this draft, a wideout and a tight end, probably. But they're going to get 2 catchers of the football. Their offense is going to have enough to make some noise, I believe. And it's going to come down. You got a good offensive line, good running back room. It's going to come down to just executing the freaking plays, making your blocks. The reason this offensive line was so dreadful the last few years, it wasn't all about how bad they are, it's how bad they were coached. They didn't know what the fuck they were doing.
Right.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
It's the truth. So
That's why we also saw guys, like Hall of Fame players like Tyron Smith and Dwayne Brown just, completely go down the drain with
Yep.
this team.
Crazy, man.
Snowball is in reverse.
So with all that being said itself, right? So we're about to get ready to wind down the show and whatnot, right? So I'm going to ask everybody, and I'm going to start with, of course, the guest that came on right now, which is Arman, Afram, and Phil itself, right? And I'll start with Arman first.
Oh boy.
So the big thing that's been out there is, why should we trust this organization when all we've known in the past is crap? Do we trust them? Should we trust them? And why? Arman?
No, I don't trust them. Should we trust them? From an Aaron Glenn and Muji perspective and this coaching staff, what they have spoken about and what they have started to do, bringing in competition with young athlete players to be competitive and make this roster fiery, yes. But from the history with the owner, no, we shouldn't trust them. They'll
Okay.
gain my trust more come June, July, August, camp, OTAs, preseason. Let's see. This coaching staff they're going the youthful route. Well, that you're putting a lot onto this whole coaching staff to develop most of these players.
Can I
100%.
add a wrinkle into this also? So your final statement is, should we trust the coaching staff? And then Armand, second part of the question is, name the finishing status for the AFC East after the season.
Oof. Right now, Jets, Dolphins, Patriots, Bills.
Jets, Dolphins, Patriots, Bills. Okay.
Whoa.
Wait,
Moving
you
on.
got us winning the division?
No, I went from bottom to top.
Oh.
We're bottom.
I was thinking, I'm like, how did the Jets?
I'm like, so you
how did
don't
the Bills?
trust
Turn it
them,
upside
but
down.
we're going to come out champs.
I was thinking the
love
exact
it. I
same
love
thing.
it.
No,
I was
we're
thinking,
at
I'm like, how did the
bottom.
Bills fall to last place?
No. Bills are number 1. I'm putting New England 2.
Gotcha.
I'm putting Miami 3. Now, if Tua gets hurt and Zach Wilson's there, they'll be dead last. We'll finish ahead of them.
All right.
Arman, I appreciate you on here. Any parting words, my good sir?
Juan Soto's a Met. 2 weeks, baby. March 27th.
Let's go,
Go.
baby. All right, let's go, Mets.
All right.
All right. Well, the guy that I think could completely fix this entire organization just within one off season,
Yes, he can.
Mr. Afram.
Phil? Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Afram, same question to you with Mr. Snowball's second part of that question.
I'm right now, for me, it's an unknown. Too early to tell, to be honest. We got to see what the final team is going to be, what they bring in, and how training camp develops. As far as the final four, we're going to put the Bills first. I'm putting Miami second, only because they have a qualified quarterback.
Zach Wilson?
No, we got Tua. We don't know what Patriots have as far as a quarterback. Everyone thinks because he he was selected. There's no guarantee what he is. So we could be between 3 and 4, but you never know.
Fair enough.
Afram,
All right.
we appreciate you coming on.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you so
me.
much. Please come back, man. We're here.
Yeah,
We
no.
love your guys'
If I get a
take.
chance, I will. Well, thank you
Yeah.
very much for having me.
Closet
Nice
fan
meeting you,
Afro.
Phil.
Afram.
Nice meeting you guys.
Later, Afram.
Be well,
Yeah,
guys.
Afro, thank you.
Take care.
Phil, look at Phil. First off, shout out to the tan,
Right?
man. I'm over here like pasty as anything over here. Holy moly! How's everything going over there in Florida?
Hey, baby, another day in paradise.
Oh yeah. So thoughts? Your final
All right,
thoughts,
so-
my good sir.
So if the first part of the question was about trust, so I would have to kind of agree that it's impossible to trust Woody Johnson. It just is. So I'm just hoping that he's, he learned his lesson a little bit last year. I think he was thoroughly embarrassed. I really do. For a guy who doesn't really seem to get embarrassed, I think he finally did a little bit. So I'm just hoping he stays out of it. If he gets involved, everything is always in question. But I think you got to trust the new guys until they prove otherwise. So I'm all in. I like Aaron Glenn. He's the guy I wanted them to hire. I'm glad they hired him. I have to wait and see how things go, though, like anybody else. Last year, everybody was predicting, 13 and 14 wins. Honestly, I was thinking more like 10, 11. I thought they had plenty of question marks last year. And now this year, I'm seeing people picking them, dead last and 5, 6 wins. And I'm way more optimistic than that. Now, I still think the Bills by far are the class of the division. They're going to win the division. But I have 2 parts to this. One is I think Vrabel's going to fail miserably. I truly do. I think that's going to be the fucking Hindenburg. I'm telling you, I have this feeling that the Patriots is going to be a freaking disaster. I don't know if that's just my desperate desire for that to happen, but I think it's going to be a mess. I don't think he's the guy everybody thinks he is. So I think the Jets and Dolphins battle it out for that second spot. And I think if we get lucky, we'll know it early. So I talk a lot about the 98 season. To me, that was my favorite season in Jets history. That's why I'm FL Phil 98. That was a season that I knew they were going to be good, but I didn't know how good. And they struggled a bit early. And then they kind of got it together. And around that, 8-10 week mark, I was like, I knew, man, these guys are really good. I'm hoping that's what happens this year. It's good. We're going to be a team that you got to have a little patience, maybe. And my guess is Fields going to have like one of those days, 3 picks, a pick 6. That's probably going to happen. And we can't boo him out of the building, and we can't, be screaming and yelling. You got to have some patience here. But I think this is a good year. I think they might actually make the playoffs. If I had to pick a number right now, an over/under, it's 8, and I'm going over.
Oh, okay.
Wait.
Phil, I have to say this. I agree 100% with you with the Vrabel conversation. Have you the picks that they've been getting has been a crazy overpay. Today, when I saw Moses next to Vrabel, compared to when he signed back with the Jets, look at his face. He looked miserable holding that Patriots thing. And to Phil's point, I agree. I think he's gonna fail really bad over there. Really, really bad over there.
Dude, I want to show Phil something. Hold on a second.
I need to put my glasses on.
All right, everybody, fair warning. If Dan comes out of nowhere with nothing on, he will be removed very quickly.
If he does, please smash the like button.
I want to show Phil something.
Should we go full screen?
It's funny that
From
the first thing-
1998.
that the first thing Phil does is put his glasses on.
So just letting you know, that was my favorite season as well. And I had the privilege to go to my first Jets game against the Jacksonville Jaguars in that divisional game where they handed this out.
Look at that.
Look at
I
that.
used to have one.
Oh,
I used to have one. It got lost when I moved to Florida. I'm sick over it.
with
What?
the sticker.
What a game.
Yeah,
The only time that I could remember that place was rocking like that,
it was crazy.
it was, I remember seeing one guy with one sign, bring on Elway. It was such a euphoric, prideful feeling of being a
baby.
Jet fan, saying, "Yo, this was the first time ever in my life." And I still have never had that same feeling of we can play against anyone and we're the favorite. Even with the Rex years. I love the Rex years. I loved 2009. I loved it. But nowhere near.
Yeah. 98 was the year, baby. It was. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And
Yeah.
and again, to Aaron Glenn's point in his press conference, it's unfinished business. We came out of the tunnel 10-0 against them over there in Mile High. It
Yeah.
took this crazy kickoff where it just
The-
stayed up
The
there.
wings. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
That's the
goodness.
reason
And-
why I
and-
hate the Denver Broncos.
Oh yeah.
That is
Right.
the main reason.
Yeah.
Bill?
And you had Keith Byers, who was such a rock that year, fumbled inside the 10. Like, come on.
Alex Van Dyke across
Yeah.
the middle,
Yeah.
fumbling.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yep.
goodness.
Well,
Yep.
Phil, it was a pleasure having
Oh,
you on.
It's good
Any
to have
parting-
you back, Phil.
Yes, we've missed you. Me and Snowball always ask about you to ourselves, and I always reach out. You know how I do. I'll be like, "Hey, I hope you're doing well." But any parting words for you, Phil?
No, just listen. I missed you guys too, and I appreciated you giving me a heads up about today's show. Really great talking to you guys. I enjoyed the show very much, and listen, I'm about as pumped as I've been in a long time, and I'm going into this year with nothing but optimism, and I won't say low expectations. I got reasonable expectations, and that's all I want, man. Every once in a while, a team just comes out of nowhere. And like I said, we might pick up a couple of undrafted free agents that turn out to be stars. Who knows? Okay. But if we're out there playing good every week, if you got the feeling when you're, for the most part, you got a chance to win, that's going to feel like winning the Super Bowl right now.
All right. Well, it's Aaron Glenn, right? It's Aaron Glenn.
Mhm.
It's the nostalgia.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, Phil, so much. And,
Nice to meet you guys. Take care.
Nice
Likewise,
meeting you,
Phil.
All right. And then there were 4.
Yes,
And
sir.
then
Final
this
four.
was, I have to say,
Yeah.
this
had a lot
was
of fun.
awesome. This was really, 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 really great. Being able to, bring you guys together on here, have some real conversations, some real takes in regards to how we're feeling about the team currently at the moment, where we think they're going, but not being off of our rocker either.
Right.
And giving actual reasons why we think this could potentially happen for us itself. Snowball, I think we need to do this again with them.
Yeah. Very,
Absolutely.
very, very soon in the very near future, we should try this again. Yeah. I don't know. I enjoyed tonight. It was very casual, and then it got a little raucous, and then it got casual again. So, but it's the old heads. You bring the old heads in. I'm telling you that I am in complete awe. I love those guys, Afrin, Armand, and Phil to come in, and that's years of knowledge.
Yeah.
So you can't put anything past that. So, you guys, any opinions on trust and orders and all that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna trust him until I can't. Aaron Glenn is somebody that came up the right way. He was a player. He saw the worst of the worst with the New York Jets. He saw the turnaround. And then he saw the best record we've ever had. And then he's just seen a lot of success. Whether it be Sean Payton, he came up as a scout. The Detroit Lions, who were worse than the New York Jets ever were, 0-16 years. They were making fun of Dan Campbell, but the whole bite kneecaps thing. So he's just somebody that has seen both ends of the spectrum when it comes to the NFL. He's paid his dues. He's come up the right way. He has that hometown connection. He has a lot of unfinished business. If you guys remember that fake spike, we talked a lot about Dan Marino. Aaron Glenn was on the receiving end of that. And I'm sure that, he even said that bothers me to this day. He's going to take it very personal. Do I expect it to be perfect? No. I mean, at the end of the day, he's a first-time head coach. We're coming in here with right now, a quarterback that has a lot to prove, that has been kind of counted out and laughed at by a lot of NFL fans. So what I'm expecting is a young, chippy, aggressive team. They're going to be the little scrappy dogs. We're not the big pit bulls in the fight anymore. We're not going to be the little chihuahuas either, but we're a little scrappy team. That's what I'm expecting. I'm not expecting us to blow out anybody. It's not going to be 35-0. We're going to be in these games into the fourth quarter, and it's going to be a scrappy fight. Darren Muji, he's pretty young, but he's seen Peyton Manning, back in 10 years ago, whatever it was. He saw Sean Payton. So it's like, I trust him. I'm going to trust these guys until I can't anymore. You had made the comments about Woody Johnson, or Phil made the comments about Woody Johnson. I agree. I think he was thoroughly embarrassed. Diana Rossini and Zach Rosenblatt, they just teed off on this guy all year long. The Madden ratings, his son, Brick Johnson, and, everything. Thinking is overrated. I think he's kind of learned his lesson. Stay the hell away from the media. Stay away from football decisions. Run the team. We don't need two Jerry Jones in the NFL.
I don't think Woody will ever learn his lesson.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
But can he always pull it back?
Well, you can try.
And the other thing too, it's like, if we're winning games, none of this is a problem.
Yeah, true.
100%.
Winning cures all.
If we're sitting there at the time, I don't know, we're 7-3, 8-4, something like that. Do we really care about Jerry Jeudy's Madden rating? We might laugh at it for a day, but it doesn't. Me and Dan, we talked about it for like a good 3 weeks. And every Thursday when we went live, it was something else. It just kept building and building and building. And there certainly is a narrative against him. Don't get me wrong. Do I think, I don't give him credit very often, but I believe in my heart that he truly wants to win. He doesn't want to be a circus. He just doesn't know how not to be. So do what you want with that.
What's your finishing order for the AFC East?
Bills at 1. I'm not going to go backwards like Armand and fool everybody.
You got me good on that.
Yeah, you did. And the funniest thing was the Bills finishing in last place. I'm like, what? But yeah. So I'm going to go Bills, Dolphins in second. And Snowball, I really like what you said. It's going to be a scrap between the Jets and the Patriots for third and fourth. Just because I'm a Jets fan, I'm going to say Jets third and Patriots fourth until proven otherwise.
F the Pats.
Yes.
That's I agree.
And
Dan?
Vrabel too.
And Camp, yes. For me, it's something that Aaron Glenn said, right? And yes, we were pumped when he said it, but I think he's going to define it. He said something, we're the New York Jets, we're built for this shit. Now, we're psyched. Like, oh, this is great. But I think now what he's about to bring at One Jets Drive is accountability, discipline, and his meticulous nature on competition, where at every single level, everyone has to level up in order to gain their points of being a starter. I look at someone like Justin Fields, huge chip on his shoulder. All these guys that are coming back, that are signing. Sherwood, now he earned that money. He can't be looked at as, oh man, we're spending so much money on this guy who now it tailed off. I just feel that once training camp comes, our trust as a fan base will begin to grow. Because right now it's just like Afram said, it's unknown right now. We don't know. But we can see little intricacies that this is very much, again, sprinkles of Parcells, more of Herman Edwards. When Herman Edwards came in, you saw that demeanor, that people would go run through a brick wall. Then a little bit of Mangini, mind-wise, and then Rex, just to top it all off. I think Aaron Glenn brings that, and he brings his own nature to it. And then that nature is that experience from seeing garbage teams. And we were that garbage team. 95, 96, 3-13, 1-15, and then 9-7, and then, dude, 12-4, man. 12-4.
Once.
Rocking it. Bring it. And what Phil said was something important. And I'm going to piggyback off of that, tying this in. Every year there's a surprise team. Look at the Washington Commanders. No one in their right mind, right? We were having this conversation before, right? Of who was the first quarterback that comes in, rookie. It seems like if you don't do that, then you might be a bust. But the Washington Commanders, this guy brought them all the way to the NFC Championship game, right?
Yeah.
Is that correct? That's nuts.
Mhm.
That's nuts. Why not us?
100%.
Why not Justin Fields pulling a Baker Mayfield, a Sam Darnold in the right situation? Why not? I'm psyched. But it just, and I say that every year, but there's just something in the air right now that is making me feel, you know what? I think finally we got it right at the top. We got it right with the GM and a guy that bleeds New York Jets. Why not?
So what order do you have?
Yeah, this is where the delusional part comes in. I'm going to tell you right now. If everything works out and everybody buys in, let's not forget about our defense. We still have studs there. Now we have coaches. And if the coaches do their job and hold all of these players, Sauce, Quinnen, these high standard players accountable, we can become a top 3 defense. Now, what were we always saying? Shoot, with a great defense, we never had a quarterback, but Aaron Rodgers goes in, we could be a championship quarterback team. We have Justin Fields. If he could kick it into that notch, the Buffalo Bills, man, if we beat them with Zach Wilson, we could absolutely beat them with Justin Fields.
All right, say it, Dan. Say it. Go ahead. Say it.
Jets number 1. Bills number 2. The Dolphins number 4. And the Pats number 3.
Oh, let's go.
Wow.
Because I hate
Right.
the Dolphins. I hate the Dolphins. I hate them.
I'm on the same boat with you. I hate the Dolphins. That's the original
That's the original.
team. That's the real river in
That's
this
the one.
division.
Yes.
Snowball.
Yeah. Do I trust this regime? No, I don't. I don't trust this regime. Why should I trust this regime? They haven't done anything yet with this team. So I'm gonna hold judgment until judgment can be made. So it's just a guess otherwise. So the nostalgia in me wants to believe in Aaron Glenn and from where he has come from. He's run a defense pretty well, so let's see if he can do a whole team. It's a different animal. Some people are just made. I mean, we saw it with Saleh, right? Some people are just made to coach defense, and you give them the whole team, and they don't know what to do. So I hope he can do it. He's got the background to do it. He's got the training to do it. He's got the influencers behind him who have molded him into who he is. So I hope and pray. Order for the AFC East. I'm going to say that the Bills are the Bills, so I'm not going anywhere with them. They're going to stay up top, but I'm going to put the Jets, the Dolphins, and the Pats because I just fucking hate the Pats. So that's it. That's my order.
And I'm going to end it with this. I believe in what we're doing. I think they have a plan. They're actually sticking to it. They said we're going to stay young. They're staying young. They're bringing guys that have a lot of upside. They're not fan favorite that move the needles as we all want to do, right? Because if it was up to us, we would have paid Morgan Moses 6 years a crazy amount of money and all that for him to get hurt week 1, right? I wish him the best of luck, whatever. But when he plays us, Will McDonald is going to eat. Okay. I have the Bills taking the 1 spot because at the end of the day itself, right? It's still Josh Allen, you know, until we completely beat Josh Allen and beat him the right way. I don't know, man. I think the Dolphins are going to have a crap year. They've lost a lot and they continue to keep losing a lot, and they're getting guys that are not really that well. They lost a lot more people again on defense this time around. Patriots, they're the real unknown itself, but I am on board with Phil was saying. I really think that Vrabel's not going to do well over there. Maybe that's all the green paint chips that I've probably eaten in my entire life, like Armand was saying earlier.
I love that.
Right? But I have a second. I got the Pats third, and I got the Dolphins last because I'm on the same boat with Dan. Just after burners, these guys are on every Thursday at 9. Liam and Dan.
That's right.
Guys.
No, touch
other
fingers. Touch
Yeah.
The other
fingers.
one. The other, I can't
other
wrap
way.
around there, dude. The other
way,
finger.
The other way. No,
The other
your other
way.
arm. Your other
Dude,
arm.
The
Liam,
other.
your other
You're
arm.
going this way, dude. You're going,
Wait,
come on, ET.
There, go. Your right
Touch my
arm that
finger.
way.
Pull my finger.
There
Here
you
it
go.
comes. Here comes
Oh.
the creation of man. It's
Oh,
happening.
like that. Do it.
oh yeah.
Watch, me and Johnny will do it. Go ahead, Johnny.
Wow. I can't do that because then I'd be grabbing Johnny's balls.
That's all right.
It looked good. It looked fine on my end.
Liam's a good
look-
guy. I like
You know,
It's
I don't know.
It's all right. But look, everybody, seriously, please go catch these guys just after burners. They're on every single Thursday at 9:00. They give really good stuff. They bring really awesome people too as well and all that. I mean, I'm not gonna, put it out there, but they brought some big names on here. I mean, I remember when I was talking with Quincy on here and I was trying to hold it in because Quincy was one of my favorite receivers. Quincy Anua. Okay, guys, just on here. But they brought what I think was it Connor. There's so many Connors out there, bro.
Connor Hughes, Gary
Hughes.
Vaynerchuk. We had a whole bunch of them. We got Victor Green.
Craig Carton.
Oh, you got
Craig
Gary
Barton.
Vaynerchuk on the show?
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, that was the day- that was- yeah, that
in
was the
his
day-
memo. In
that
his
was-
memo.
That was
Yeah.
the day after the Bills game, when the Jets home game where they wore the white helmets and everything.
Not happy.
What a miserable interview that was.
He is
Not
like,
what we had envisioned.
He
No, but it
was
was-
so pissed, but he's a Jet fan.
Yes.
Like we were all feeling that, but then we got the news right then and there too, right?
Yes. Or Devontae. That's
Devontae,
right.
yeah.
Devontae, yeah. And that changed his whole mood right then and there. He got up from being all slouched out that day and all that. But guys, seriously, go check these guys out. Just after burners, they
Appreciate
are
it, man.
on YouTube, Twitter, X. I'm sorry in regards to that. I'm not doing it justice, but Dan, Liam, please let them know what you guys are doing and where can they catch you on.
Yeah, I mean, we're on every Thursday at 9:00. It's pretty abstract, I guess is the best way to describe it. We're an open panel. It gets crazy at times. Never truly know what to expect. Sometimes hell breaks loose. We try to maintain it as best we can. We do pride ourselves on being a family show. So, we do keep that in mind. Some guys do sort of get away from that at times. It's a passionate subject. We are a broken down and battered fan base, and every year we're just looking for something to get excited about. And you can never doubt the passion of any guest that comes onto our show. So we deeply appreciate meeting all the new guys that come on and, all the new guests. Johnny Boy, it's a pleasure getting to know you these last few months.
Yep.
So Snowball, pleasure getting to,
Yeah.
know you as well. Thank you for
Absolutely.
having us on, man. Really appreciate it.
I just wanted to throw one more plug in there as well. We're doing it in the middle of a new series that we have. It's called the Health of an Off-Season NFL Fan, in which a lot of people after football, when the season is over, they fall into a vortex of depression, bad eating habits, things where they just want to burn time until September. But there's just so much more out there. We have a lot of dietitians, even out of the box food ways of eating, the carnivore diet. We have doctors, we have heart surgeons that are popping up, physical therapists. So definitely come through, and we do a lot of things that we try to help the fan base, and also our veterans too, as we did the veteran show yesterday.
And I do have to say, in regards to that, Dan, I think so far they all have been awesome, but I think my favorite episode that really kind of like hit some heartstrings on there was Connie Carberg's son, right? And some of the stuff that he said on there, where he was like, self-reflection, and he was like, it was everybody else and not him.
Yep.
Until one day he kind of looked in the mirror and was like, what am I doing? Right? It huge. You guys really, really need to go ahead and check that stuff out. But guys, we got to do this again. Seriously, like
absolutely, man.
this was really awesome.
This was
Snowball,
good. What's up? What am I supposed to say?
I don't
Good
know.
night.
Love us.
Thank you. I love you.
Yeah.
I'll miss you until the next time we meet and do this
We
all
got to
again.
get you on, man.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of
Yes.
fun. Be a lot of fun. Thank you for coming on our show. We really appreciate it. I just looked at how many likes we have, Johnny, and it's not good. It's not good enough. So if you are watching,
Come
please
on,
make
man.
sure that you come over to Jets Worldwide and hit the like button. Subscribe to our channel. We are trying to grow as Johnny just grows. Like, it doesn't matter what happens. He just grows. But we are
Look-
trying to grow slowly but surely.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yep.
So we'll do the best that we can to promote you. I really enjoy the show. I see a big future with you guys. So really
always
appreciate
collaborate.
thank you for the invite, man. Really appreciate it.
One day at a time.
Yep.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a
Thank you, man, for having
great
us.
evening.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us, and we'll take you out unless you want to take yourselves out. But
You can take us out.
I'll take you out then. It's okay.
Dan
Thank
took
you.
himself out.
Take care. All right, man. That was fun. I had a good time tonight.
I had a great time with the guys.
That was
man.
a
It
lot of fun.
awesome.
We had special guests and more special guests and so many people watching the show. Thank you guys for watching the show. Everyone in the chat, we really appreciate you guys being here. We couldn't have done it without you. Amazing. So many great comments in the chat tonight, and so many new names that we haven't seen before. So stick around. Come back next Friday night, and Thursday, Jets Afterburners. Then Friday, Jets Worldwide.
100%. Because at the end of the day, guys, this has been Jets
Worldwide, wide. Are we out of here? We're playing a video. We're going. I don't have anything set up. Sorry, Johnny. I'm a little out of practice, but here we go. Outro. See ya.